What's up, people? Adam Hunter here, and once again, we're doing the best of MMA Roasted as far as some of the interviews go. And today we're doing Ben Askren. I've been a Ben Askren fan since his wrestling days in college. He's been a fan of the podcast. He's a personal friend of mine. I was really happy that he came back against Robbie Lawler. Look, Herb Dean messed up. At the same time, I think he might have went out. I could watch it 100 times. I still have to. I don't know what happened, but I mean, did he go out? Did he not go out? Why would his hand touch the canvas? He did give a thumbs up. Some people say, well, people can go out and then come back. I don't know. It was insane. But Askren is an awesome fighter. I mean, the guy looks like, there's dad bod and there's like granddad bod. I mean, he took a year off. He retired. He came back. He fought Robbie Lawler. Robbie looked unbelievable. But I was proud of Ben Askren. And I've been lobbying for Askren to get into the UFC for the past 5 years. And you're going to hear that because today I'm going to do the best of Ben Askren interviews that I've done over the years. Love Askren. First, I want to thank our sponsor, Santa Cruz Medicinals. They have potent CBD-infused coconut oil, olive oil, MCT oil, vape pens, and more. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, it's paleo, and it's sugar-free. It's lab-tested. Go to scmedicinals.com. Mention Roasted, you get $5 off. They're really good people, too. I like these people a lot. Thanks again for sponsoring us. They're awesome. Also, Speedweed. Marijuana is legal in California. So, you can get it delivered at speedweed.com. Just go to @speedweed.com. They got everything from vape pens to marijuana to THC sex lube to edibles to marijuana coffee to, you name it. They have it. This guy, Gino, great guy. Mention MMA Roasted. It's $10 off. And they're good people. If you want to see me, I'll be in Reno this month. I'll be in Miami next month. In May, I'm in New York. Go to adamhunter.com for my full calendar. Also going to Arizona in June, as well as Minnesota. I got Edmonton coming up. All kinds of places coming up. So go to adamhunter.com. You can see my whole schedule. And I'm at the Dime Bar in California on Fairfax every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Dime Bar. I'm always at the Laugh Factory. Check it all out. So, let's hear from Ben Askren, starting from 5 years ago. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
How's it going? It's Adam Hunter. You're on the MMA Roasted Podcast. How's everything, man?
It's good. I'm just headed to wrestling practice with one of my coaches.
Oh, nice, man. By the way, thank you for being a good sport. I know sometimes I make Ben Askren jokes on Twitter and you retweet them, and I just want to say thank you for being a good sport.
No, I got you have a good sense of humor, so I appreciate that.
No problem. Now you're one of the you're one of the best wrestlers ever in college. You were 87-0 your last 2 years. You have a record of 153-8. You're an Olympian. Why are you not in the UFC? What is going on, man?
Oh, it was just it was a Dana White versus Bellator thing. He didn't want a Bellator champion coming in there and doing extremely well because I think they knew I was going to do extremely well, and that was really what it all boiled down to at the end of the day.
There was a whole conspiracy. Some people thought people that thought that because if you went in there and just ran through everybody, it would make Bellator look really good. And like you just said, other people said that you wanted too much money.
No, it was we didn't even get to talk money. It was all about the Bellator thing. I can guarantee that.
Right. Now is wrestling still your first love, or has MMA taken over?
No, wrestling is and will always be. It's just something I've done since I was 5 years old. I'm kind of competitive now with the Aegon thing. I did our first one in October. I'm doing another match here in the end of January. We have wrestling academies, wrestling camps. So, I'm still really involved in the wrestling community, and that'll probably be the thing that I stick with long term.
Right. And you mentioned Dana White before. Dana White, he said that you're not his kind of guy, and then what does that exactly mean?
That's good because I like girls, Dana.
That's what I wrote in the text from last fight. But then you said that you're not in the UFC because he's a fat, bald man. Do you regret?
Yeah, I'm not his kind of guy because I'm not a little bitch who's going to be a company man. It's pretty much what it comes down to. I think the other thing that they realized is they weren't, push me around and give me peanuts and make me do whatever they wanted me to do.
Right. So, I mean, so now you signed with ONE FC, right, for 4 fights? How many fights?
6 fights. 2 years, 6 fights, yes.
Now, how long? 2 years, 6 fights. I know. Are you a little nervous a little bit that you might go to UFC and sort of come back and be past your prime? Is that ever does that concern you?
You know what? If I fight my 6 fights and I feel like retiring, I won't have any regrets. Like you said, I accomplished a lot in the wrestling world, and I don't really feel the need to prove myself in that way anymore.
Right. Now, Phil Baroni, who is a friend of the show, has been calling you out left and right.
Yeah.
Will you fight Phil Baroni?
He's got to get a couple wins first. He's 0-2 in his last 2 ONE FC fights. So, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a fairly quick title shot over in ONE FC, and I think they deserve that. And so, maybe if Phil wins some fights and is ready to challenge me for my title, I'll fight him. But, at this point, he's just like a desperate old broken down man. It's almost sad.
Do you worry sometimes with the ONE FC with the whole soccer kicks? Does that concern you?
No, I've actually been my teammates can't practice with it, but I've been, I haven't been kneeing them in the head, but I've been fake kneeing them in the head. And actually, the knees on the ground of the head work awesome in my style. Just the way I can control for headlocks and other positions and knee there. That's going to be a gigantic benefit to me.
It sucks because I've actually been saying that, you're one of the best fighters out there. Your wrestling has been dominant, and I've wanted to see you and see how you would do against some of these top 10 guys. I wanted to see that too, but it wasn't in the cards. So let's talk about some of the top 10 guys. How do you think you would do against Johnny Hendricks?
Good. I mean, he actually showed decent cardio in the GSP fight. He got a little tired, but not quite, not like the Condit fight. He hits hard. He's not overly technical on his feet by any means. And his wrestling, I think, it definitely went downhill since his college days. And, he was good in college. He wasn't as good as I was, but he went downhill, and that's for sure. So
do you think you beat Hendricks?
Oh, yeah.
You think you stop him or just grind him out?
Oh, I don't really care. So either way, it's fine with me.
That's the one thing about you that I like, is that you don't care a lot, because you get a lot of criticism. A lot of people go, "Oh, he's boring," or he tested positive for having no testosterone, or they say, people. Actually, I say this, but I think that one of the good things about you is that you don't care.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to attempt to finish the fight, but some of these people are so stupid. They think it's like you're finishing the fight or you're losing. And it costs them in the long run. And to me, it's sport. It's not entertainment. It is sports entertainment, but to me, it's still a sport. It's not purely entertainment. So you got to try to win the fight. Right.
Now, Robbie Lawler, how do you do against him?
I think he's a tough fight. Obviously, I think he hits hard, and he's a little more technical striker than Hendricks. And his wrestling's actually not bad. I worked out with him a few times in Arizona. He was down with Power MMA for a while. And his wrestling, he's better than I would have imagined, at least, and better than most people imagine. So then that's a tough fight. And I think he can give Hendricks all he wants in that title fight coming up.
But you think you beat Robbie Lawler?
I think I beat everybody.
You beat everybody. So you beat now Hector Lombard has been very vocal about you on our show. He said, now what happened with you and Lombard in sparring? Because he says that you don't want any part of him.
It was like I had never sparred before in my whole life. And listen, so the coaches the night before go, "Listen, Hector's going to try to go with you because you've never sparred before." They said, "No matter what you do, don't go with Hector." Right?
Right.
So we put our gear on. Hector goes, "You want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, let's do it." I'm not scared of anyone, so what's the I'm going to get my ass kicked, so what, right? So I said, "Yeah, let's go." So we're ready to start, and the coaches are like, whoa, no, and they split us up. So, if Hector wants to talk about being a tough guy on my first day ever of sparring, I mean, maybe I'd wrestle him on his first day ever of wrestling and see what happened to him. But, if he wants to brag about what happened my first day ever, then...
But did you guys actually spar together?
No, we actually never sparred together. We grappled together and we wrestled together, but we never sparred together that week.
Right. But how did it go in grappling?
I'd say I out-wrestled him, and he out-jiu-jitsu'd me.
Right. So
but then again, I was just starting jiu-jitsu at that point also.
Now, you're a brown belt, correct?
Yeah, I'm a brown belt now.
But now, so you're not concerned at all as far as like knocking people out or submitting them. All you care about is winning fights, correct?
Yeah, I mean, if the other stuff happens, that's a bonus, but you got to win first. Did you
train with BJ Penn?
Yeah, that was awesome. I was out there for 10 days, and that was in 2012, I think, in the winter almost.
What was that like?
It was awesome. He was a great guy. Got some good workouts in. Pat Healy was out there too, and then BJ's brother, and just a lot of good workouts. Did you and
Pat smoke pot afterwards and get stoned and talk about the good old days?
Pat, yeah, we actually stayed together in the Penn family vacation house, and we got along really well. And he's a good dude, so yeah, we got along really well.
Oh, that's cool. Now you're currently married, correct?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's great.
Right. I have so many questions for you, Ben Askren, because you're a hard guy to interview. I've been trying to get you on the show forever. So I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, man. It's not really. I'm not a real reporter. I just tell jokes for a living, and I'm a comedian, and I do coach wrestling for little kids. And when I was in high school, I won the class. I'm not going to brag. You're Ben Askren. All right. So now you're also ranked in disc golf.
Yeah, I haven't got to play a lot of tournaments the last couple of years, but my best finishes were second at the Amateur Nationals and ninth at the Amateur World. And I did the ninth twice.
Is it true Dana White said you can't compete anymore in disc golf?
What'd you say?
Is it true that Dana White said you can't compete anymore in disc golf? Is that true?
Oh, man. That would have been a deal breaker if he would have said that.
Well, I don't understand what happened. So they flew you out to Vegas to meet with the UFC, with Fertitas and Dana, right?
Dana wasn't there. He was on the conference call. It was Lorenzo and a few of the other UFC people.
And did they say to you, look, Ben, we want you to be in the UFC, or we like what you're doing?
No, they didn't even say, we just did small talk, and then we made small talk, and then we talked about my situation with Bellator and my career and where I thought I was going and all that stuff. And then they talked to my manager for a while, and, it seemed like we were going to make something happen. And then later that night, my manager got a call, and it wasn't going to happen.
Damn. Now, how disappointed were you?
I was definitely disappointed because I thought, that's kind of what I thought my future was going to be for a while. And, I had a good offer. After that, I had a good offer for World Series of Fighting and one FC. And so it all worked its way out, even though it wasn't the way I thought it was going to be.
How come you didn't go to the World Series of Fighting?
When I looked at the offers, monetarily they were fairly similar. It was just like I can't be number one. The only way I could be number one right now is to be in the UFC and beat the guys that were above me. I just felt going to the place I was more comfortable, and I got to know a few of the people involved with ONE FC when I was in Singapore, and I felt really comfortable with them.
Right. I mean, it's just kind of a shame. It really is. Because I've been following you since the Mizzou days. Now, how much tail did you get when you were in Mizzou and you were a 2-time and you had all those pins and all that? Was it hard? Did you just slay box?
Oh my God! I gotta say no comment just in case my wife listens to this.
Oh, that means yes.
I don't know.
Because according to Tyron Woodley, you banged every chick in Mizzou. That there's all these.
He did not say that.
He said that there's all these little kids running around with terrible haircuts because of you.
Oh my God.
So that is true or no?
Yeah, I don't know. No, because isn't there you can plead the fifth or something?
Okay.
Right? Remember, right? Now
you're considered hump for hump the best fighter in MMA. No, I'm kidding. So. I remember that you back in the day you said that you wanted to fight GSP. You think you could beat GSP? Do you still think this?
I mean, the guy's retired, so I'm gonna leave him alone. There's no sense to pick on a retired guy, right?
Yeah.
He was a great champion. Obviously, I thought I would like to fight him, but he's retired now, so you just gotta let him be.
But there are guys that you do. It's funny because you do start Twitter wars with people. You started one with Bisbing.
Yeah.
And then you started one with John Jones.
Yeah.
Now, what's up with you and John Jones?
Oh, I mean, him, he's one of the most unlikable people in MMA. And I don't really know what it is because I know he wants to be likable, but for some reason people just can't stand him. But I'm good friends with Daniel Cormier, and Daniel wants to fight him, and Jones is scared. He really doesn't want to fight Daniel. I mean, really, really doesn't want to fight him. So, I was just picking on him about that.
But he came back and said that you should have stuck with wrestling, and that you can't finish.
Yeah, and then he realized everyone was telling me he was a dick, and he took the pulse down 20 minutes later. So that's what I mean. It's like if you're gonna be a dick, just be a dick and just leave the post up there. But so he was like a dick, and then he's like, oh wait, I don't want to be a dick, and then he deleted the post. So I mean that's what everyone doesn't like about him, is he's so two-faced.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny though. I think Cormier and Jones would be a great fight. Actually, I think Cormier's got a really good shot at winning that fight.
Yeah, I was more questionable on it before the Gustafsson fight. Cause I thought Jones would just kill Gustafsson, but that was a really good fight. And after seeing that and how far downhill John Jones' wrestling went, I think Daniel's got it all day long.
Yeah, I mean, look at the guys that Daniels beat. I mean, the Josh Barnett's, the Frank Mears, knocking out Bigfoot Silva.
Mm-hmm.
You look at those guys, and then he goes down to 205. His wrestling is there. It's just a matter of, is Daniel Cormier too old? He's getting up there in age. But by the time
he's a really, one of his best assets is he's so intelligent. He understands strategy and how to fight and how to train it, and he's been a winner for a long time. So he's a super hard person to bet against.
Yeah, and he trains with Cain Velasquez. And if you train a guy like Cain Velasquez every day, you're gonna,
Yep, exactly.
Now, do you spar with Pettis at all?
Yeah, obviously he's hurt now, so I haven't sparred with him in quite a while. But yeah, all the time.
And how do those sparring sessions go?
Well, obviously he's got a strong advantage on his feet, but sometimes we kickbox spar and I get my butt kicked, and it's okay. And but sometimes he tries the most fancy kicks, and I just tell him, Anthony, do another one of those, I'm going to put you on your ass with a double leg. And so then he tries doing it, and then I double leg him and hold him down for the rest of the round.
How's your striking coming along?
It's good. Obviously, I got really good coaches and great training partners, like you said, with Eric Koch and Pascal Kraus and Anthony Pettis, are great training partners. So it's really coming along. Not saying I'm never going to stand up because I don't need to, because I just take everyone down and win. But I'm really, really comfortable on my feet. I really am.
That was the weirdest thing, is that Bjorn Rebney said he let you go because you were dominating everyone too much in wrestling. I don't understand that. How do you let a guy go because he's beating everyone too badly? I
think it was just the fights were all non-competitive. It's hard to sell a uncompetitive fight. So I would say that's what he was trying to get at.
But I don't understand. You let someone go because he's winning, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of people. Look, there are people that are gonna get mad at me and say, "Dude, Ben Askren, it's like watching Ambien. Watch Ambien." There are people out there that say you're boring, but I'm like, I'm a pure wrestler. I coach. I told you wrestling was my first love. I have more respect for wrestling, and I like to watch a guy like you who, until someone figures you out, and no one's figured you out yet.
No, and. Yeah, a lot of people that actually understand MMA, they appreciate the difficulty of what I'm doing, and I'm going into the cage. Another grown man can do whatever he wants to me, and I'm doing exactly what I want, and he can't stop it. It's a lot tougher than people think.
Your toughest fight was against Jay Haran. Why do you think you had so much difficulties against Jay Haran?
He's a good fighter. He's a veteran. He's been around for a while. Solid wrestling. It was early in my career, and I think there's a few things I could have done differently. A little better footwork, a little better takedowns, and that would have made the fight a lot easier. But I've gotten a lot better since then. I think obviously my performances have been getting better and better every single time I've been in the cage. And so I was just, it was my 8th fight I think in my career. It was early in my career, and I've got a lot better since then.
Yeah, no, Jay's a good guy. He's a really good guy. He did say that you smelled really bad, by the way. That's
a lie. Actually, you can quote me on this. I don't even wear deodorant because I don't have body odor. You can ask my wife about that.
That's bullshit. You don't wear.
God, how much you want to bet? How much?
I know. I believe that you don't wear deodorant, but I don't believe that you don't have body. Everyone has body odor.
I don't have body odor. Ask my wife.
Your nickname is Funky.
Right now, you can ask her.
Your nickname is Funky. You don't think maybe people are trying to tell you something?
I don't have body odor. I promise. I don't know. I got a weird blessing or something. I'm not sure what the problem is.
Does your wife wear deodorant?
She wears deodorant. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's not. I mean, Ben. That's. I guess.
He thinks it's not fair. I know.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't blame her, man. That's insane.
Well, he was lying on that one for sure.
Maybe that's why she's sending you to Singapore, your wife. Because he's.
I think she's going with me.
Oh, she's going with you now.
Yeah.
Now, so if Baroni wins his next fight, you would give him a fight?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Now,
that's a big if. We're talking about Phil Baroni winning a fight. That's a tall task right there.
He is a legend, though. You got to admit it. The guy's a legend.
I mean, not because of his skill in the sport of MMA. Maybe for other reasons, but I'll give you that he's well known.
He used to be a male stripper back in the day. Just you know that?
I'm not really impressed by that.
He talked about that on our show, how he used to use a penis bump and a cock ring. It was a whole thing. Now,
oh, my God.
Now we have questions. This is from the Scorpion. Now, who do you like in the Shields-Lombard fight?
I think it goes one of two ways. I think Hector knocks him out fast, or else, Jake gets him tired and does whatever he wants. I think it's really pretty clear cut.
You train with Jake Shields, correct?
Yep. For like 12 days before his Martin Kampman fight.
Nice. How did that go?
It was good. We got along really well. He's a cool dude, and got a lot of good training with him and Gil Melendez. The Diaz brothers stopped in a few times. So, yeah, a lot of good training. Now,
what was it like training with the Diaz? Now, were the Diaz brothers cool? Were they late? Were they? What do you?
Yeah, I don't remember if they had a fight at that point, but they showed up very intermittently. And we, the one day I think they were both there. We went out to Cesar Gracie out. I don't remember what time that did, but we drove out there and rolled a bunch of jiu-jitsu. But they were just really quiet. They didn't say much. Yeah,
they seem like real nice guys. Everyone who knows them says that they're really loyal, cool guys.
Yeah, they were just real low key. That's how they were.
Now, you being an Olympic wrestler, are you rooting for Sarah McMahon against Rousey?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What do you think about Ronda not shaking Misha's hand and her whole attitude?
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of split on the issue because obviously I've had people I don't like, but in wrestling you gotta shake your hand at the end of the match. I mean, you have to do it, So I think at the very least she could have shook her hand and said, "Whatever, I kicked your ass." But her level of immaturity in that show was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I felt she didn't do herself any favors. Like she.
No, not at all. And I know she was blaming the editing and stuff, but it was like I don't know how she could have been that bad for that long that they could have got that many clips of her acting that salty.
Yeah, it seems like she has an idea of if I'm fighting someone, or she just hated Misha Tate, and she was gonna, no matter what, hate Misha Tate. But it seemed like Misha got the best of her because she wouldn't shake her hand, and then that, she welcomes the boos. But really, who wants to be booed?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like the stupid things, like when they put the unibrow on one of her coaches, like that was funny. I mean,
yeah.
How can you not laugh about that, right?
Right.
And they actually got pissed about it. It's like, do you take everything in life that seriously? I mean, that was really funny.
I totally agree. So
yeah, so when there's funny things, you just gotta laugh at them. You can't take yourself too seriously.
Exactly. Exactamundo. Now another question from the underground.
Hey, I got 2 minutes before I have to go to practice.
Okay. So
I'm sorry. I thought my practice was going to be earlier today, so I apologize for that.
No, it's okay. When do you leave, by the way, for Singapore?
I'm going to finish my training camps there. So I don't know exactly when my first fight will be, but Yeah, that's where I'm going to finish my training camps.
Now, somebody wanted to know if you could beat all 6 guys in one night, and that way you can go back to the UFC or go to the UFC.
Oh, in ONE FC? You know,
Yeah.
I actually offered to fight Amasu and Koreshkov on the same night, and if they would have let me, I would have done it because no one's done that in a really long time. So I wouldn't be opposed to fighting a couple people on the same night.
Have you ever been hurt in a fight?
I dislocated my toe in the Amasu fight, and that didn't feel good, but you just had to keep fighting.
So you've never been dropped or never been knocked out or never been stunned?
No.
Wow.
I got caught a little bit. Lyman Good was eye gouging me a lot, and that didn't feel good. But that was, that was about it.
Well, Ben Askren, man, good luck with everything. I'm rooting for you. You got a lifelong fan here, man.
All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Sorry about the confusion of my practice time.
No, anytime you want to come on the podcast, we'd love to have you.
Okay, you got me email, so email me anytime.
All right, thanks, Ben.
See ya.
Take care. Well, that was Ben Askren. Sorry if I'm a little all over the place with questions, but, that's just my style. I have ADHD. That's what I do. I like Ben Askren. He seems like a nice guy. Super nice. I mean, there hasn't been a fighter on the show that hasn't been a nice guy. There really hasn't. And I think Askren should be in the UFC. I know some people think he's boring. Some people think, but you know what? There's always going to be room for boring fighters in the UFC, in all sports. Not everybody could be Diego Sanchez, or not everyone could be, these knockout, Cain Velasquez, or Junior Dos Santos, or certain guy, Hector Lombard. There's going to be the place for the Okamis, or for the Jake Shields, or for the Ben Askrens, and that's what I think is what's great about MMA. You can't have every fight just can't be an explosive knockout. I mean, part of me wishes it could, but that's let's just go watch something else. There's boxing. I mean, even boxing gets boring. Go watch X-Arm. By the way, X-Arm is this thing that never. For anybody that doesn't know, there was this thing called X-Arm where these guys would do. It was what's it called? Arm wrestling, and they'd punch each other in the face to see who won. It never actually took off, but if you go on X-Arm, if you YouTube X-Arm, it's pretty damn funny. It never actually took off, though. All right, so let's get Askren on the phone. Okay, so we have Ben Askren, who is just coming off a big win in ONE FC. He's an Olympian wrestler. He's a 2-time NCAA champion. He has the most pins ever in 1 year in wrestling. And he was the undefeated Bellator champion, and they got rid of him because he just beat everyone down too easily.
Well, I got rid of them.
Oh, you got rid of them. Sorry. How are you, man?
I'm doing good.
Congrats on your big win over in Singapore.
Thank you. Yeah, it went pretty well.
Now you actually got taken down in that fight, and then I heard you said you did it. You let him do it on purpose. Is that true?
Well, you know what? When I'm striking, I have zero regard for their ability to take me down, because if they take me down, I know they're an idiot, and they're just asking me to get beat up real easy. So, I mean, the guy's only chance is to hit me with some kind of hard punch and knock me down, right? And then he goes and takes it to the ground like a moron. So, like a lot of people, strikers, they're really worried about getting taken down, so they're very aware of their defense, takedown defense. I am 0% aware of it because I don't care. So, I know if they take me down, he's in my game.
Yeah, no, and then you actually, it was crazy seeing like those knees to the head. I mean, was that fun being able to kind of knee a guy to the head? Because I know you can't do that in other.
Yeah, I've been kind of playing around with it in practice. I didn't get any good ones in the shot. I got a couple little small knees into the head. I had practiced a few positions in practice quite a bit, and it is awesome. I mean, it really definitely adds to the arsenal of a wrestler. It really helps out a lot. So I'm looking forward to even using those more in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you're building this like kind of cult following now of people that are like really upset that you're not in the UFC.
Yeah.
And I'm actually one of these people. I would love to see how you would do against some of these guys in like the top the top of the division. And it's kind of annoying because there's no reason why you shouldn't be in the. I look at some of these guys are signing, they're 5-2 or the blah blah blah. I mean, you're 13-0 in MMA. Do you think maybe you shouldn't have called Dana White a fat bald man?
Well, that was afterwards. The only thing I said before that one was that he was a liar, which that's not that bad when he is a liar, and I just call it like it is. It's not that bad, right?
No, I mean, someone's being a liar. I mean, people have been called liars before, but the whole that guy's a fat bald man. Do you kind of regret maybe you shouldn't have said that?
No, the way I see it, he ruined my ability to be the number one fighter in the world. That was my goal, right? And I don't have that ability right now because I can't beat those guys. So he ruined my goal, and I called him a few names, like who got the best of that one. He obviously got the best of it, I think. Unfortunately, I think I became a symbol of what Dana is doing wrong in a lot of people's eyes. He's not making all the right moves right now, and I think a lot of people see that. And I think not signing me was just one. It was kind of like maybe the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of true MMA fans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big UFC fan, and I think they're doing a lot of things right. I would say not signing you would be the main thing wrong. I just coming from a wrestling background. I coach wrestling kids. I was a fan of yours back in Mizzou. When you were doing those like crazy pins when you beat that guy 14-2 in the finals, who was of the NCAA's. I mean, I was a fan back then. That's the thing. Now, as far as like Johnny, we're talking about Johnny Hendricks. So Hendricks beat you in high school, right? And now you've been kind of gunning. Yeah. Now, what was the score of that match?
Well, he beat me one time in nationals our junior year, pretty bad, and then he beat me 7-5 in the Dream Team Classic. And
now, how do you think you would do against him now?
I think I'd do outstanding. I wanted to wrestle him in college. So our senior years, obviously, by that time we're going into our senior years. He wins 2 national titles. I had won the Hodge already to that point, and I had they had this thing called the NWC All-Star Classic every single year, where the best guys at every weight wrestle, awesome. Right?
Yeah.
So I called him up and I said, "Listen, I want to wrestle Hendricks. I know we're not the same weight. I'll make that weight." I said, "No problem. I'll make it for you. I want to wrestle him." And that hadn't happened to that point, but I wanted to make a point of it because I didn't like him, right? I wanted to get payback from high school. And so they say no. They say no. Invite's already out. We can't do it. I say, all right, screw you guys. I'm not wrestling then. And so a couple years down the road, I heard that Johnny had turned that down. He was the one that said no, I don't want it. So I think Johnny's still trying to hold on to that high school win he's got over me. And you didn't hear him say nothing when Dana wouldn't sign me because he was happy. He was so happy.
So how do you think this? Okay, so say Dana White says, "You know what, Askren? Fine, we're going to put you in." How do you see this fight going down between you and Johnny Hendricks?
Well, I mean, if Dana did say something like that, he better make an apology first because I don't appreciate the way I was treated. So, if I were to accept the invitation, he'd have to apologize first.
Good luck with that.
Johnny's good. Obviously, I'm not gonna make any buts about it. He's damn good. I mean, he's UFC champ right now. He hits really hard. Obviously, he's got the wrestling background. The weakness I've seen is his wrestling has gotten it's went way downhill. I mean, I've seen him getting taken out by guys who weren't that good. So his wrestling's going downhill, and his cardio is questionable at best. So obviously he hits hard, and I'm not too scared of that. So I'm gonna go at him. I'm gonna get him tired. I'm gonna take him down, and I'm gonna beat him up just like everyone else. Now it's gonna be more difficult than everyone else, but I'm gonna do it.
All right. So that's Hendricks. How do you see yourself against Nick Diaz?
Diaz, man, he ain't fighting no more. Why am I talking about me against someone who's retired?
Because we want to get hits on this link, and if you people love talking about Nick Diaz.
Well, if Nick Diaz can stay off the pipe, maybe I'll fight him.
Wow.
And he's like taking down a wet paper bag.
So he's really easy, you think, for you?
Yeah, I don't think I'd have much trouble. He'd probably flip me off and shit, but I would just smile at him.
Now, Hector Lombard came on our show, and he said when he trained with you, he treated you like a baby. He threw you around, and that he should have been the U.S. Olympian wrestler.
I don't think that's true.
And that he destroyed you in wrestling. Is there anything true?
Those were lies. I think I addressed this before, and I put out an open invitation for him to wrestle at Aegon, so we can do it in front of the camera so everyone can see what happens. I mean, if he's so confident in his statements, let's do it for real. I said I'd do it for real. I have no problem wrestling in front of cameras with him. I mean, at that point, that was the first time I ever sparred in my life. So would he have beat me in MMA? 100%. I had no chance against him at that point. That was 2009 when I started fighting. He didn't hit 30 fights. But to say he beat me in wrestling is asinine, and I'll wrestle him. I'll put my own money on the line. I don't even have to find prize money because I'm willing to put my own money on the line. And if he's so confident, he can put his own money on the line, and we can wrestle in front of cameras for everyone to see.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, and how do you think you do against him in jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu, that's closer. Like that. Like I said back then, that was like my first month of training, and he beat me in jiu-jitsu. But at that point, he was a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I was a white belt. So, yeah, I've made a lot of progress since then, obviously. So that'd be an even match, I'd say.
I gotta say, I watched a video of you with Marcelo Garcia, who I'm sure people know if they listen to the show who Marcelo Garcia is. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the best jiu-jitsu people in the world. And you being such a good wrestler, he manhandled you, but you were brand new. Why did you agree to allow that to be taped? Number one, and number two, is it because you have no ego, or I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't care. Obviously, I didn't like what happened to me, but everyone told me that was going to happen. Everyone's like, this guy he's so amazing. And by that point, I had rolled with other black belts, and I had beat him, but I'd been respectable. And so, I'm not worried about winning and losing against anyone in practice. It's practice. So I say, yeah, let's do this. Whatever, I don't care. And, he whooped my ass. And he's on another planet than anyone else in jiu-jitsu. I mean, I've rolled with a lot of people, and I've never, ever, ever felt anyone like him.
No, it was amazing. I felt like I was watching me roll with him.
He's so ridiculously good at jiu-jitsu. It was amazing. And it's kind of like when people fight me, that they see this kind of chunky, curly-haired guy, and they're like, no way that dude's going to take me down and beat my ass. And sure enough, 30 seconds into the fight, they're on the ground getting punched in their head, and they don't know what happened.
No, that's true. And your last three fights have been stoppages. Yep. I mean, you just beat a guy who's 9-0, and who was actually he wasn't 9-0. He was on a 9-fight winning streak, he was like
11-2, I think, maybe.
Now, how did you like?
12-2.
How did I was in Singapore? How did you like being in Singapore? By the way.
Singapore's awesome. I mean, it's very similar to America. Everyone speaks English. They got great food. It's very affluent. The gym over there is great. Evolve MMA. That's where I train. I'm over there. It's awesome. So yeah, I had a great time.
Did you find the 4 floors of whores?
Man, I've heard about it, but I didn't go looking.
Yeah. And by the way, your wife is smoking hot. By the way, you have a very hot wife. Good work.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sure she would too.
Good work on that, man.
Did you go to the Marina Bay Sands? Have you been there to the pool at the top of the?
Yeah, I stayed in Marina Bay Sands the last time. That place is amazing.
Oh, unbelievable. I know when I was
on the top of that skyscraper.
Hotel.
I've seen videos of that.
The
Infinity
pool
Edge pool.
The Infinity pool. Yeah, it's unreal, man.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's kind of the feeling I got in Singapore. Is it's just like the whole place, you just look around. I mean, these skyscrapers they have, they're not just plain, straight-up squares, They got these immaculate, clean, beautiful buildings. It's like, wow, everywhere you're looking.
I went there. I did a show for the military over there, and there were all these, karaoke places where they had the girls' headshots outside.
Yeah, people dress up. They get full regalia, gowns and everything.
It was
make an event. Really?
Yeah, it was very strange, but it was fun. Now we got to talk about some more fighting. So,
let's do it.
Now, Now, I heard you say that you're making 6 figures in ONE FC. Is that for one fight? Is that for 6 fights?
Is that including the 2 zeros after the decimal point?
I'm not supposed to talk about that anymore. I got yelled. You know what? I made a mistake. I should have talked about it last time, and I got yelled at. And I'm not supposed to talk about that anymore.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about other guys in the division. How do you see yourself doing against Robbie Lawler?
Lawler, man, he's doing good right now. I'm very impressed by him. You know what? Honestly, I think he's a tougher fight for me than Johnny Hendricks would be. In all honesty,
I agree.
He's more precise and accurate with his striking. Johnny's got a lot of power, and obviously I think he's got a slight wrestling advantage on Robbie. But Robbie, he's on a streak right now, and those are the kind of guys that are really tough to fight. Is the guys that they find their groove like that.
Did you train with him when you were at American Top Team for a little bit?
No, I was only at American Top Team for like 2 weeks in the beginning of my career. Just kind of went to check it out and see everything. And Robbie wasn't there at the time. I trained with him once or twice in Arizona. When I was he was kind of with Power MMA for a while when I was coaching at Arizona State. So we worked out a couple times.
Okay, and then how do you see yourself doing against Matt Brown?
Matt Brown, I just worked out with Matt Brown today. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, actually. So, I'm not sure. We'll see.
And then I know that you and Tyron Woodley are like boys. So I'm not going to ask you about that. Jake Ellenberger, how do you see yourself against Jake?
What is up?
I don't know. He seems like a nice guy too. I don't know if I can fight him.
All right, good. All right, I had to say because if I didn't say you, then that would not. I wouldn't be putting you up there with these guys.
No, I want to say, like, really quick though. I agree with Ben because, like, people thought I was crazy when I said, listen, I think Hendricks should be an easier fight for me than Robbie Lawler, and they're like, really? Yeah, really, because, like you said, Robbie's a much more precise striker. He's got more experience, and trust, Johnny's got power. But he's a little bit more predictable. You know what I mean? You got a guy
what's
like
coming.
Robbie. Exactly.
You know that left is coming.
Definitely.
It's kind of like, I know, I'm on the same page with you there, Ben. I agree.
Yep, for sure.
Now, is it weird being the best wrestler at Rufus Sport? Like, are there guys to push you, wrestling?
Well, I got my brother to keep me honest. He lives in the area, so I need a good scrap. I call him up and we mix it up. Is
your brother going to be a pro fighter?
No, I don't think so. He comes in to work out the jiu-jitsu every once in a while, wrestles with me, but I don't see it. He's already 28, so I don't know if I see him picking it up.
Right. Now, I got to ask you something. Now, somebody sent me a picture of you naked holding you're naked holding your belt. Not
completely naked.
Not completely naked, but you're in some weird pose. And I was gonna post it, then I'm like, I don't want to post it. This is like I don't know. I mean, it's very funny, but then I go on the then I go on the internet, and that picture's floating around the internet. So I didn't even feel special. What the hell were you doing? Who took that picture, and why are you naked holding your belt?
Well, the famous one-man army, Bo Taylor, famous internet troll. He's got a picture of his belt when he's taking a crap. He's holding his belt, taking a crap. And so I sent that one in response to him taking a crap with his belt.
Oh, okay. So, now, what did your wife say when she saw this picture?
What'd you say?
What? Now, how did your wife react when she saw this picture? Was she like, "Why are you taking this picture of you naked?"
I think she was the one that took it for me.
Oh, it was very strange. Now, are you still not wearing deodorant?
I don't wear deodorant. No, still not.
I got it.
Do you rub the crystals under your arms?
Something like that. Yeah.
Ben, I got to ask you. Besides yourself, who do you think are the best wrestlers in the sport?
Well, I think the obvious one right now is Daniel Cormier. I mean, especially with what he did to Dan Harrison a couple weeks back. That was super impressive. I mean, Dan's a good, great wrestler in his own right, Olympian, obviously, and Daniel he put it on a clinic. He took him down multiple times. He threw him, did a couple mat returns, controlled him when he was on the mat. So, I think that performance was just super impressive. So that's the one that sticks out in my mind right away when you ask that question.
Yeah, and now I got to talk about the Olympics for a second. Now, you went to the Olympics, and personally, look, I was I'll talk about my own experience with freestyle wrestling. I was never good at freestyle. I was a four-time Class A champion in New England and in high school, and folk style. Freestyle, I just couldn't get it. Now, you made the Olympics freestyle, brand new. You ended up losing to a guy. You ended up losing to a guy from Cuba. And then there was an interview with you. You had a tear in your eye, and they said, "What happened? Do you think it was lack of experience?" And you said, "No, I sucked," which I think was actually tells a lot about you as a person to not make excuses, to not put the blame on something else. Is that something that you kind of regret? Did that propel you to go into MMA? Talk to us about that a little bit.
Well, that making the Olympics and winning Olympic gold, that was something I had my eye on for a decade. I mean, a decade of hard work, and you get one shot at it. It's not like I can wake up the next day and have another shot at it. It's not like that. So, I can't say I was totally new to it because I wrestled freestyle since I was a kid. Now, in America, we don't have freestyle a couple months a year. So, I was wrestling 2-3 months a year freestyle. Where, in the rest of the world, they're wrestling the whole year. But, that was my second or third in-house tournament, so I was fairly new to it. But that's not an excuse. I know how to wrestle freestyle. I just wasn't good enough. I mean, there's been other people who won it right out of college, and, I thought I was ready, and I didn't execute. And that was just as simple as it is.
I mean, is that something that kind of still, have you let go of that, or does that still bother you sometimes?
No, I let go of it. I mean, like after the Olympics, it was like I can do another 4 years of training and have another shot, or I can try MMA, which was something that definitely interested me at that point. So I figured I'd try MMA. If I didn't like it, I could go back to wrestling. I'd sell another 3.5 years to train for the next Olympics. And I got into MMA. I enjoyed it. I had some success. So I did stick with it. And, I definitely let go. It's not something to hold on to. I had my shot. I didn't do like I needed to do. And that's what it is. And I don't get that shot again. And I had to accept that.
Yeah, I mean, you're a big man for doing that. Now you're in some kind of Twitter beef right now with Rory McDonald.
I am.
Yeah. You and Mike Ricci and Rory McDonald are in some kind of.
Ricci.
No, Ricci started with me. That's as simple as it is.
Like a gnat.
And he's a turd. I mean, he's not even good at fighting. I don't even know why I responded to him. He's terrible.
You think? I mean, he's not terrible. I mean, he made the UFC.
He's terrible. I beat him with one hand behind my back.
You would beat Mike Ricci with one hand. All right.
He said
one hand behind my back. I'll put my own money on it.
You would put your own money on it. How much money do you have? Are these guys paying you?
Six figures.
You're putting.
Well, I could take out a loan too.
That's a good point. Now, all right, we got some questions from Sherdog.
Okay.
Tell Askren to start slamming people, and ask him why he doesn't slam people.
Slamming, it's inefficient. You don't need to pick a guy up to put him down. That's inefficient. It's a waste of energy, right? Why would I pick him up to put him down when I just put him down?
That's a very good response. Now, will you ever consider fighting at 155?
I barely made 163 for the Olympics, and I know I look kind of chunky and whatnot, but I think my bones are dense or something because, I was on a serious diet to make 163, and I barely made it every single time. So 55 is definitely out of the question.
So, okay. And then from Meathead Jock, he wants to know when we could expect your next Agon wrestling match and who your opponent will be.
Well, we're on break for the summer. Our plan is to come back in the fall, and we're working on the business structure and everything else so we can make it smooth for season 2. So it's a work in progress at this point.
Okay, and then finally, from Man Meets Fate from the UG, if the rumors are true that in the history contract, is it mandatory that Lenny Hart gets some of the funk after every fight he has at 1FC?
Lenny Hart is freaking awesome. I mean, are you guys listening to her announce? Get you pumped, right? I mean, Buffer's good. Buffer's the real deal. But Lenny Hart's on another level.
Lenny, okay, all right. And then from Gaspar BJJ wants to know if you train gi, how long you plan on fighting for, when you come to the UFC, and why you didn't stop fighting with the WSOF. A lot of questions there.
Okay, that is a lot of questions. Let's see. Let me go through them. Number one, I rarely train in the gi. I really don't do it very often. I think it's something maybe I'll do once I retire from fighting. But while I'm fighting, I don't know that gi jiu-jitsu is highly functional. I think no gi is the more functional one, just because I don't need to know the grips in order to be successful in MMA. Just don't need to know it. UFC, who cares? How long am I going to fight? I'm not sure, and we'll do the fighting. That's a long story.
All right.
Ben, what do you think about Woodley and McDonald this weekend?
Man, I sure hope freaking Tyron starches him fast because, McDonald, he drives me crazy. really, really drives me crazy. Obviously, I like Tyron a lot. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm a little nervous that it could be a really boring fight because McDonald likes to stay on the outside and kind of not do much and just kind of really pick his punches and kind of be boring-ish. And, Tyron's not a high-volume fighter. He's a power puncher. So, if he doesn't get his couple shots off, then it could turn into be a real boring fight.
Was Woodley's mom? Did she come to your college matches too and go crazy?
She's awesome. She was awesome. Tyron had a great tilt in college. 2-on-1 tilt.
Yeah.
He had a great tilt, and so her thing, she does yell, "Rock him up, baby! Rock him up, baby! Get him down!"
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what she would every time. That's what she would yell, and we would just be waiting for it because you knew it was going to happen. So we would just laugh so hard.
No, all your that Mizzou team of you, Chandler, and Woodley. I mean, you guys are all killing it, man. In the pros.
Definitely.
It's
good. I mean, it's good. Go ahead.
I'll go on. What were you saying?
Oh, I say it's great to have see other people that I was teammates with and friends with having so much success. Mike's hit a few stumbling blocks lately, but hopefully he'll hop right back on the horse and start kicking some butt again. And Tyron's on a great streak right now. I mean, he's doing really, really, really well. Yeah,
and by the way, we have them both on the podcast. They're all convinced that you would beat GSP, just so you know. They're
nice.
Yeah.
Well, if your friends aren't on your side, then you're in trouble.
It's true. By the way, I'm trying to get booked in around Missouri. So if I do, I'd love to have you come to a show, man.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm in Milwaukee too, so anytime you're up there, you just let me know.
Absolutely. Well, and by the way, and thanks for being a really good sport because I'm always ripping on you on Twitter, and you always retweet.
Yeah, it's okay.
You always retweet it.
I take it nicely, but I'm gonna see you once. I'm gonna get your ass. I'm gonna take you down and torture you.
Thank you, man. I look forward to it. Well, where can people find you, Ben Askren?
Just at my name at Ben Askren on Twitter, and then same thing on Facebook.
Well, thank you, man. You're an awesome fighter. You're an awesome guest, and it's a pleasure to have you on.
It was awesome, man.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Good to have you, man.
Right. See ya.
Later.
All right, that was Ben Askren. Funny guy, man.
Yeah, funny.
Why isn't he in the UFC?
It's very straightforward,
he called
too.
the boss a fat bastard.
Well, that's a good point. But that was after. First, it was just a liar, right? He said just a liar. Yeah. But isn't a promoter's job is to somewhat lie, kind of? I mean, not really. But I mean, when anytime there's a fight and they're hyping a fight, he's the fastest guy in the world, and this is the greatest fighter. This is an epic. They're selling a fight. That's part of the job. I mean, what do you want people to say? Look, this is probably
it
not.
Should be all right.
It should be okay. It's not the worst fight.
Fill in for Chael.
It's not the worst fight. It's not the worst fight you can watch.
Yeah, Askren should fight Vitor. I think he might get hurt.
That's a tough one.
This motherfucker's not gonna answer his phone again.
Hello,
Ben Askren.
what's up?
What's up, man? How's it going? It's Adam Hunter. I'm here with Marina Shafir,
Good.
Jake Ellenberger, T-Rex.
What's up,
What
man?
up,
What
Shane?
up?
Doing good, man. Just driving home. We just had practice for lupus, so everything's good.
Nice, man. Hey, by the way, congratulations on your last fight against Nobutatsu. That was insane. That was
Thank you. Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was the best I've seen you look. I mean, were you? Do you think that was your best performance so far?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I don't know that he's good, obviously, but since he hasn't fought a lot of the high-level guys, it's hard to say how good he is. Whereas someone like Lima, I know exactly how good Lima is, and so I would consider Lima and Koreshkov both really great performances on my part because I took two guys who are very high-level strikers that I think would be successful in any MMA promotion and really totally disabled everything they were trying to do, and neither of those guys really hit me at all. So I would say I really was proud of those two performances as well, but obviously this one was the most decisive. Yeah, no, it was a beatdown, and you stopped your last four guys. And I actually wrote, you're probably the only guy that I know who's on a 4-fight. Well, you're on a 14-fight winning streak, a 4-fight stopping streak, and you're actually further away from making the UFC. It doesn't make any sense. I saw something like that, yeah. And I'm the most boring fighter with a 4-fight finishing streak also.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're killing it. Now, lately, I saw you on Twitter. You've been calling out Johnny Hendricks left and right, calling him fatty. You were saying that you could beat Rory McDonald any way that you want. Would you please expand on these thoughts?
Well, that was just to piss people off, actually, on that last comment. I might be crazy, but I'm not that crazy. Obviously, I could take Rory down. That's something I do really well, and I get in there, I don't take much damage, I take people down. Johnny fight's obviously a lot tougher fight because he's got a strong wrestling background, but at the same time, I think Johnny has very much neglected his wrestling for the past handful of years. And he's been out of college 7 years, and I don't think he's nearly the same wrestler he once was. He's getting way too confident in his hands, and he's a solid boxer, but man, it's like that's all he wants to rely on.
So, I mean, do you think you're the number one welterweight in the world right now?
I like my chances against anyone. Obviously, there's a lot of tough fights out there, and MMA is a crazy sport, but I like my chances. Yeah,
I mean, I like your chances too. It's so unfortunate. Now, I mean, don't you think maybe like, okay, I mean, what would you say if, like, listen, you like say to Dana, you know what, I know I said some bad things about you. I know I called you a fat, bald guy. I know that I know that Dana said that you're the biggest moron he's ever met in his life. I know that you guys have that whole thing. Maybe say, you know what, let's let bygones be bygones. What do I got to do to get in the UFC?
No, I would never resort to that. Because it's not that big of a deal to me. And would I like to fight? Like I said, I've said this a bunch of times now. Would I like to fight those guys? Of course I would. But I'm not going to beg and crawl on my knees in order to do it. And I'm in a great situation where I'm at. So I don't have to be forced there. I'm in a really, really good situation. And so I don't feel the need to do any of that stuff.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I think part of what makes you great is your stubbornness, you know? So, you know.
Yeah, you could say that. My wife might argue with you.
How long do you think before the competition starts wearing thin where you are?
Well, they did just sign a couple newer guys, and I think they have a bunch of welterweights fighting on November 7th, which is the card in Singapore. So, I'll probably fight someone off of that card. And like I said this in my interviews, ONE FC is a rapidly growing organization. It signed a huge deal in China. They also have picked up the amount of shows they've been doing a lot. They've been doing twice a month, a bunch of times this year. So it's going really well for them, and I think they're going to start being able to attract more and more high-level talent. So it's always hard to say who's going to become a free agent and who I'm going to be able to fight because it's one of those things where you never know.
Yeah. It's true.
Now, recently you went on Inside MMA and got into a tiff with Kenny Rice because they like cut you off, which I thought was bullshit. I mean, they come on, they have you on, and then they don't let you speak, and they cut you off, and then you went on Twitter and called him a dick rider.
No, I said that's what King Mo would say. I didn't say that's what I said.
Oh, okay.
I said as Mo would say. That's some dick riding, because that's what King Mo would say. Now, I wouldn't say that.
So you were just quoting. You were just quoting somebody.
What someone else would say.
I was thinking from King Mo's perspective.
Now, did Kenny Rice ever apologize to you about that?
No, he hasn't. The producer of the show and then the CEO of the Access Network, they both apologized. And they were in talks with the management about doing something to make it up to me. And I wanted to have the debate because, frankly, I'm thinking, some of that stuff needs to be talked about publicly. Because I think there is a lot of MMA media that's scared. They're very scared to piss off Dana White because they'll get their credentials cut. And it's happened before. I mean, let's not act like Dana White hasn't cut anyone's credentials before because he definitely has. So I think there's a lot of people in that camp, and that's probably why nothing further happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's tough because I think in the end, it's the fans that are losing out. Like I said, I've been a fan of yours since college. I like the fact that you look like a middle-aged lesbian, and you can and you go. I like the fact that you look like a middle-aged lesbian, but you go out and you just bury these people.
Middle-aged lesbian.
That's the best part about it. And I honestly, I really think that's one of the main reasons I success. Because I think a lot of people look at me and they say, "There's no way that guy can be strong, and there's no way that can be tough." And then they get in the cage with me, and I grab him, and they're thinking, "Holy shit, what in the hell did this middle-aged lesbian have for breakfast?"
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's very inspiring, and
next thing you know, he's posing naked with a belt around his waist.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
Totally naked. Wasn't totally naked.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
you were wearing a belt.
I mean, I'm obviously a big UFC fan. I think the one mistake they're making right now is not signing you, because I think, as much as people like to watch you, a lot of people also hate you, and I think that
Which is perfect, because they're still going to watch me to get my ass kicked.
Exactly.
Yeah, so your stock is always kind of going up, and the viewer, more people want to see what you can do in there.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I like how you body slammed your trainer after your last fight, by the way. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was actually one of my good friends from college wrestling. He lives in Australia now, so he came to watch me in Dubai, and so I had to sneak a quick takedown on him.
Now, are you a big star over in Singapore now?
Well, I mean, it's hard to define big star, but I stay in Heath Tim's apartment over there, and so I'm around, just walking through regular parts of Singapore, and a lot of people stop me and recognize me. So, yeah, I would say people are getting to know me, and kind of the same thing happened in Dubai when I was over there. One FC, they do a really good job of promoting their fights and their events and their fighters. I mean, when they took me on a trip and we were in Cambodia of all places, and it was like we were in this little rinky-dink gym, and all of a sudden 50 reporters show up coming out of nowhere, and I'm like, how in the hell did they get 50 reporters to come to this gym?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Jake,
how many fights have you signed, Ben?
Do I have left?
Yeah, do you have left?
I signed a six-fight 2-year deal, so I got a little ways left.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're gonna name the fighter, and I want you to say how you would beat them. Johnny Hendricks.
Didn't we do this last time?
Yeah, but it's always funny though. Johnny Hendricks.
I'd grind him out.
Rory McDonald.
I'd take him down and slap him around.
Hector Lombard.
Man, I don't like Hector, dude. He still hasn't responded to my challenge of the wrestling match, and he's still alleging that he beat me, which is shenanigans.
Well, it's crazy because we actually have Hector here. We have Hector here right now.
Here on the show.
Hector.
Shut up.
Nice.
So Hector, do you think you could beat Ben Askren?
I beat him.
How would you beat Ben Askren?
I slap him in the face. I take him down. I wrestle him. He want to wrestle. I wrestle him. I slap his face. I hit him on his ball. I send him home. Cry to his mind.
Who is? Who is that? They're freaking good.
So Ben, that's Hector. So Ben, how would you respond to him saying he's going to slap you in your asshole and take you home?
Yeah, I mean, Hector, he talks a lot, but when you get down to it, he's 3-2 in the UFC. I mean, he's not exactly killing it as you would think he was by the way he talks.
Shut up. he talking 3-2. Never good at math. I still kick your ass, man.
Nice, you guys are good.
Thanks. That's actually T-Rex. You actually met him before at the World Series of Fighting.
Ah, is he Cuban partly or what?
No. You might think it if you look at me, but no.
No, he's black.
I'm a Half-African.
He's a Half-African.
Okay.
Now, I saw a picture of you at the Ultimate Fighter House. Did you train a couple times with the girls?
Yeah, I was out there over the 4th weekend at the expo, and a couple guys I knew were fighting, and then obviously Anthony was coaching the show. So yeah, it was a good experience. I did 2 practices with the girls. I taught them wrestling, of course.
Who was a standout?
It went good.
Who was a standout to you when you were there?
Well, all I do is wrestling, and obviously Carla has a good wrestling background, and then I thought Jessica Penne had some pretty strong wrestling also. So as far as the wrestling went, those would be the two that I thought really stood out. Randa Marcos was really strong, really tough, and obviously she looked good in her first fight in the house. So I think obviously Team Pettis is 4-0, and I think they're gonna keep rolling. They had a really solid camp out there.
Awesome.
Now, Ben, I know that Rory wants to do Metamoris. Why don't you challenge him?
To that, right?
Yeah, why don't you challenge him there?
I already challenged him. I'm way ahead of you guys. I already said I'm in. If all they gotta do is call, I'm in.
Wow.
You
I
should
think
totally
Dana
tweet.
would probably that one so fast. How fast Dana would say this is not happening.
I don't understand. I mean, I know that they flew you out and you had a weekend with the Fertitta brothers. What happened? Did you guys go to a strip club or something?
No, just one meeting, not a weekend. One meeting.
It was one meeting. You go in there. You're like, hey, I'm Ben Askren. I have the league. I have the most pins ever. I'm a 2-time national champion. I'm an Olympian wrestler. I'm undefeated. And why don't they just say, here's the contract?
Yeah, the meeting was very cordial, and there's some stuff that happened in there that I've never told anyone. But at the end of the day, it just didn't work out.
So tell us what happened.
Well, I'm going to respect their privacy.
Wow, we got to figure out.
I know.
The
You
details,
heard it all from
game.
Ben Askren, but he keeps some secrets, right?
Yeah. By the way, I've been my friend Randy, who has cancer. I've been trying to get you to do the sprawl challenge. I've hit you up 10 times on Twitter.
He's counting.
I want you to shoot on me.
What?
You gotta come do the video, and you shoot on me, and then I'll sprawl.
Oh, great. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Can I film this? I really want to be a part of this video.
Yeah.
You have to go in for the win, though.
Are you kidding?
I'm just saying.
I have nothing to lose.
You really need to go in for
I have
the win.
nothing to lose.
Okay.
I might be out to Anthony's fight in Vegas, so maybe you'll be out there doing a show or something, and we could do the sprawl challenge on the strip or something.
100%. That'll be. I would 100% shoot on you if I get taken down by Ben Askren. Woo! I got taken down by the best wrestler in MMA right now.
Yeah, but what do you
I
have to
believe.
lose?
I think
But
it's
if you get a takedown, you got some serious street cred.
Exactly. Absolutely.
0% chance.
0% chance.
Zero.
Oh, thanks, Jake. Thanks for sticking up for your boy.
Hey, your friend shoot you straight, right?
You don't know, man.
This is like a 24-1 right here.
There we go. Thanks, Marina. I appreciate that. Marina believes in me.
Totally. As long as you go for the win.
Yes. Your buddy Biggie Mike Rose did it.
Did he really?
Yeah. It's to raise money for my friend. It's all you gotta do is like 10 sprawls or like donate. Now Anthony Pettis says he's gonna knock out Gilbert in the first round. I know he's your teammate. How do you see that fight going?
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, Anthony is, now that Anderson Silva's kind of slowing down, I definitely think you could make a very good argument that Anthony is the most dangerous striker in mixed martial arts today. He's diverse. He can hit you from anywhere. He's got power in both his hands and his kicks. So, obviously, Anthony has the ability to knock people out anytime in the fight. So, I could 100% I could see that happening.
Hendricks versus Lawler, the rematch. Who do you like?
I like myself showing up with 2 belts in the front row.
Badass. That is like a gangster ass comment.
Really? That would be awesome if he did that.
I'm gonna try to pull it off. We'll see what happens.
Oh my God.
Who knows? It was a close fight.
I don't know if he'll be able to get in.
Do you need a ticket?
Yeah, like I don't think he's gonna be able to get in.
Well, I think I'll be out there anyways, but I'm not 100% sure. I never know when I'm gonna show up. If Zupa's just gonna say I'm banned for good or something and kick me out, I just don't know.
Honestly, I think Zuffa knows that they're eventually going to have to sign you, and we'll sign you. So I think the more of this, like what you're doing right now, and creating all this type of people that are for you or against you, is just helping them.
Yeah.
And I think it's just helping them in the long run. So they'd be smart.
Wait, so they're gonna get it.
Now, is it true that you drive a modest white Prius?
I'm driving it right now.
Not only are you driving right, you've been driving without the seatbelt on for the last 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, that happened too. Uh-huh.
You can hear in the background.
Oh, nice. That's good.
I didn't hear it.
Damn it! I should put my seatbelt. Now my wife's gonna yell at me because I didn't have my seatbelt on. Yeah, I would say it's less than modest, dude. It's been with me for 7 years, and I beat the shit out of it. So it's pretty ugly.
How's your hot wife doing?
Oh, she's fabulous. We're actually rehabbing a house, and hopefully we'll be moving into it in about 2 weeks here. So it's going really well.
Nice.
Nice. Ben,
I'll let you know she's hot. She'll really appreciate that.
no, she is hot. I've seen pictures. I was like,
Why
damn.
do you keep looking at me?
Yes.
He's like,
I give
she's
her
hot.
shit
Did you
because
know?
if you go to Google and you search Ben Askren, there's a bunch of things that come up. But if you go to Google Images and type in my name, I think she's the second and third thing that comes up when you
Go
search
on Google
that.
and Google.
Oh, well, the fourth thing
gonna
that comes
do it
up is my penis.
We're gonna do it right
so,
now.
With warts all over.
I'm just kidding.
Way to loop that one right back
Just
around.
joking. Yeah, no, she's beautiful. Ben Askren was. People don't know this, but there's like in college at Mizzou, Ben was the man. When it came to chicks, every girl wanted Askren. Right?
Was it the hair? Is it the hair that like really baits him in?
That's always a good
curls
icebreaker,
pulled them
of
in.
course.
He gets tangled.
Yeah.
They get tangled and they can't escape.
You know, yeah. According to
on
Michael,
the web.
according to Michael Chandler, you were like an animal back in college.
Now you see now I don't know about you, dude. Now last time you said it was Woodley. Now you're saying it's Chandler.
This is his wife right here.
Oh,
See?
she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
She'll appreciate that.
By the way, I saw that match from high school between you and Hendrix.
What is that?
That's the picture I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah, we just that picture came up of like you naked with the belt or almost naked.
No, I wasn't naked. I had underwear on.
Dude, that's a thong if I've ever seen one.
Marina is shocked right now.
Yeah, we can see beanbag, bro.
Shocked in a good
Yeah,
way or
dude.
shocked in a bad way?
You got the wrong hand on the wrong hip. It's like it should be this is not a very flattering picture. I'm sorry.
You're wearing wrestling shoes?
Wait, that's what you're upset about? Not the fact that he's
Right.
naked posing with wrestling shoes?
No, it's not a flattering picture.
Posing naked wrestling shoes.
Give me a break.
Ew, what is that?
So yeah, Ben.
Right?
Hold on.
No.
So Ben, we watched that high school match between you and Hendrix. It was close, man. Holy
dudes.
shit! It was tie going in the last period. You were right there.
Yeah, and that was a big deal. It's Johnny was the guy in high school. I mean, no one beat him in high school, and yeah, that was my shot right there, and I didn't come through on it. And obviously, that was something I always wanted to get that match in college, and I was never able to get that match to get some payback. And I got a lot of payback on people in college because I wasn't as good in high school and I improved a lot. But that was one match I always wanted, and now obviously, hopefully I have the opportunity to beat him up. But you never know what's going to happen.
Well, Ben, man, it's always fun having you on the show, dude. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to call into the podcast. I know you're busy, and where can people find you?
Just I see that Ben Askren on Twitter, and then just my name, Ben Askren on Facebook. Yeah, sorry for messing up last week. I went out of service, and then if I see you in Vegas, we'll hit that sprawl challenge up.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Also check your phone messages because I think you got some cool messages on your phone. So
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I'll
geez.
check them.
thanks, man. I'll talk to you soon, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Later, Benny.
Bye, Ben.
You guys, thank you.
All right, that was Ben Askren.
By the way, if you send me that picture of him on my phone one more time, Adam, I'm deleting your number.
Oh man, I like Ben Askren.
You send Jake nude pictures of Ben?
I do.
Of other dudes.
Ben Askren.
That's a little bit weird.
Like, hey man, what's up? And then it'll be a picture of Ben.
Hey,
And I'll be
man,
like,
what's up?
I know he's gonna get annoyed.
At what time in the day
it
do you
doesn't
get
matter.
these pictures?
Doesn't matter. I just send that hashtag kill yourself.
Yeah, it's pretty much what happens. That's pretty much what happens. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos all commission-free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees, so you can trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Plus, there's no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. You can view easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. Yes, you can also view stock collections, such as the 100 most popular. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio. You can discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest, okay? Robinhood is giving listeners of MMA Roasted a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at MMARoasted.robinhood.com. What's up, people? Sexual performance issues. Let's talk about them. They are way more common than you think. Over 25% of new ED cases are guys under the age of 40. 40% of men by the age of 40 struggle from not being able to get and maintain an erection. That is not good. And why do guys turn to weird solutions or do nothing when they can turn to medicine and science? Go to forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, and sexual wellness for men. Listen, thanks to science, ED can be optional. Why? Because HIMS connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat ED. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Why you go to a gas station anyway? Come on, not for ED pills, okay? It's so easy. You answer a few quick questions and chat with a doctor for a confidential review. Products are shipped directly to your door, okay? Being your best means performing your best. It's erectile without the dysfunction. All right. Try Hims for a month today for just $5. We'll get you started for just $5 while supplies last. See the website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to a doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/MMA Roasted. That's FORHIMS.com/MMA Roasted. forhims.com/MMA Roasted.
Hey, funny thing happened to me.
So what's up?
Hey, we got Ben Askren on the podcast. You're here with Jake Ellenberger
Ben,
as well as comedian Russell Peters.
Hello, Mr. Askren.
What's going on, guys?
So Ben Askren, one of my favorite fighters, or one of the best collegiate wrestlers of all time. Won his last 94 wrestling matches in a row, right? 94?
87, but I'll take 94. So I'm giving 94.
You could have gotten a 94. You just stopped at 87.
87, two-time national champion, Olympian wrestler, coming off his toughest fight 2 weeks ago in ONE FC. What happened in that fight?
Well, I would debate that it was my toughest fight because it wasn't really much of a fight at all. We got in the cage, we scrapped around. I couldn't get a takedown. It went about 2 minutes. And then I accidentally poked him in the eye. Not even really what I thought was a bad eye poke, and then he refused to continue to fight.
Do you think you kind of broke him with that takedown, and he kind of wanted out?
Everyone told me the scouting report on him was that he's going to go hard as shit for 3 minutes, but he's going to gas out. Now, that was the scouting report. And we all know guys like that when we wrestle, they just go balls to the wall at the beginning of the contest, and then they wear out as it goes on. So, I think he was wearing out, and, I don't know why he decided not to continue because he was doing pretty well to the point being. It was my toughest fight for 2 minutes, but I think I fought much tougher guys. And if I think if the fight did continue, it would have swung in my favor quite quickly.
Now, it seemed like you weren't setting up your shot. I'm not a fighter. Obviously, I'm just a guy. I'm a fucking comedian.
Right? You're a fighter, too.
I'm a comedian.
Fights in the bar.
But it seems like you were taking shots from a distance that you weren't really setting up that well. Was that on purpose, or were you just kind of... Were you kind of frustrated, or tell us about those things?
Yeah, no. I'm not. I've never have been. Probably never will be the prettiest looking fighter, or the guy who uses the best loading technique. That's just not me. And the plan for the fight was move forward and make him work hard because I'd heard yes. And so nothing about the fight was pretty, but I was sticking to the plan. He landed like a leg kick. He didn't really hit me in the head at all. So. It was going to be effective even if it wasn't pretty.
Were you surprised he was able to kind of throw you the way he was?
No, everyone told me he was going to be really super strong for 3 minutes, and that was kind of that was what I heard from everyone. So I kind of expected it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it wasn't too unexpected.
It seemed like now. Do they test for steroids over there? I'm not
do you think
saying
he was
No, they don't. And I'm thinking the same thing you're thinking, buddy.
because I
was like, is
I
he
looked at
thinking
that
the same
guy
thing we're
and
thinking?
I'm like, Jesus Christ, that guy looks like Hector Lombard times 4. I mean, this guy looked like.
Well, yeah, I mean, they fight on the same team, and that team has quite the reputation for vitamins.
Because that guy, I mean, I've never seen anyone defend your double leg on any level like that. And I was like, Jesus. But it seemed like, in a way, were you embarrassed a little bit and you were like, fuck, what's going on right now? Or were you kind of like, all right, this is kind of fun. I'm not going to panic. Did you panic at all?
No, not panic. And it's, I mean, obviously you want things to look nice when you're out there, but at the end of the day, a fight's chaotic, and if the job gets done, then it works, even if it doesn't look good. And I mean, I remember showing, after, like you said, talking about my success in college wrestling, I remember I went to Arizona State, and there was a guy named Brian Snyder there who's an assistant coach with me, and I had some DVDs, and one was like a highlight of me in college.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, let me see that. And so I gave it to him. And the next day he goes, I don't know how you were good. Everything he does looks like shit, but somehow it works. And I said, well, that's the point, right? That it works. I don't really care how it looks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's why they called you the Funk. I mean, that's why you're fucking throwing reverse cradles in national tournaments. People, most people are not doing what you were doing to people. But it did seem like. Do you think maybe the other fights you've had in ONE FC were so easy for you? I mean, you were literally the fight before that. You threw like 90 punches in a row. Were you kind of, in a way, maybe you're like, you know what, this is not the best competition for me. I don't have to train as hard as I should. Looking back.
No, I train just exactly way I train for every other fight. I'm a professional. He was better. I mean, he was better than those last couple guys, that's for sure. And so there's no doubt about that. But like I said, I think every scouting report I heard was that he was strong early and would fade, and that's kind of what I was going for.
And that's kind of what happened. I honestly think that he probably could have continued as well. I mean, you did thumb him in the eye. I don't think it was intentional. I know it wasn't intentional.
No,
the last thing you are is a fucking cheater.
I don't think he wanted to fight anymore.
It seemed like that guy finally got a takedown with a body lock, and the guy was like, "Get me the fuck out of here," because Now, Ben, a couple of things. Number one, congratulations on the new baby.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Your wife, I met her in Vegas, is smoking hot. Just so you know, you have
and you even got a few good jokes out of it. That was good. I appreciate that.
No problem. Your wife is smoking hot. Now, how's training with CM Punk?
Good, man. He's I've been gone. I just got back this Friday from Asia, and so I haven't been around in a couple weeks. But he's good. He works hard. Good dude. Everything's good.
You think he's going to actually win fights in the UFC?
I think that's to be determined. I mean, obviously, winning fights in the UFC is winning fights at a high level, and he isn't in any fights. So, there's a lot of work and skill and a little bit of luck that goes into winning fights in the UFC. So I guess we're going to see once he gets in there.
It's not a very good endorsement.
No. Well, we'll see.
Exactly.
It's honest.
Ben, I got to ask you. I am curious. What are your thoughts on the fight with Pettis and Dos Anjos?
Yeah, it was it was disappointing. Obviously, I was there. I was in his corner, and it wasn't how I envisioned the fight going. He got hit hard a few times in the first round, and I really think that affected him the rest of the fight.
What do you think of Bobby Green saying that Dos Anjos was on some stuff, and may have been
I don't know. No comment. There's a lot of that stuff in MMA today, and I don't know. I think we're going to find out a lot with these new testing policies coming in place. I think, and I said this before, I think once the new testing policies come in place, some guys are going to start to look like Superman because they weren't on anything the whole time, and anyone who was on something is going to start looking like they're more human.
Well, looking at your body, we know that you're on nothing. So that's.
What'd you say?
I said, looking at you, we know you're not on anything.
So you can't say it. Water, oxygen, and hard work.
Which is good. Now, Now, Ben, before the fight, you were calling out Johnny Hendricks left and right on social media. You're calling Rory McDonald a big nerd. You said you would beat Rory with one hand behind your back. Do you still back that up?
Sure, why not? I said that. That's pretty crazy, but why not?
So you think you could beat Rory McDonald with one hand?
I think you should
Did
use
I really
two.
say that?
Yes.
Sure, I'll go for it. Why not?
And then, no, I think it was Mike Ricci you said also you could beat him with one hand.
Oh, no, yeah, it was Mike Ricci I said because I could be like, he sucks.
Yeah, he's in that. Go away.
All right. Really?
Yeah.
You don't like Ricci?
Ricci, no.
All right. So you versus Johnny Hendricks. By the way, I actually watched your college wrestling match against Johnny Hendricks. That was an awesome
No,
match.
high school.
Oh, high school. That was a great match. A really close match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
That was a good match. So how do you think you and Hendricks goes down, for real, honestly?
I mean, honestly, he's going to stop a lot of takedowns, but I'm going to keep coming at him, and I'm going to make him tired, and he's not going to hit me that much because I'm good at not getting hit. Sorry, I am doing an interview. I'll be right in. Oh, shoot. Hey, I gotta go in 1 minute. Is that cool, guys?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I'm going to come at him like a honey badger. He's going to get tired, and then I'm going to beat his ass.
All right.
And I got to run.
Hey, Ben Askren, thanks for doing the
All right,
show, man.
Thanks for coming on, Ben.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, take care.
All right.
All right, that was Ben Askren.
I've been an Askren fan since he was wrestling in college, but I think he would beat a lot of guys. I think he would. He sees, he obviously sees Hendricks and the success he's had, and he thinks he can take the belt. So it would be interesting to see him in the UFC.
Speaking of beating a lot of guys, so right now we have Russell Peters with us.
And we're back.
Yo, guys, what's up?
What's up? We are on the call with Ben Askren, the two-time national champion, the Olympian, the undefeated UFC MMA fighter, fighting in ONE FC, the Bellator champion, the probably best fighter who's not in the UFC. According to him, he's the best fighter in the world in his weight class, which a lot of people feel that way. Ben Askren, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Good. You're on the here with me, Bubba Jenkins, another national champion, as well as you, Marina Shafir and Tyler Bowe.
What's going on?
What's up, Ben?
This is the NCAA
Wow.
champ press conference.
Guys, we got an expanding arsenal of interviewers there.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Now you have a baby on the way, right?
Yeah, she's due this Saturday, and so any day now. Well, the last one was a little late. This might be a little early. We don't really know yet, but yeah, any day.
Nice, congratulations. And this is your second baby.
Second one, the first one's 2.5, and she's a blast.
Nice. So
She's wild. She's funny. It's all good.
So all that humping finally paid off for you. It seems like all the humping that you did.
It always does. It always does.
Now, Ben, you're one of my favorite fighters, one of my favorite people, man. I love your rebellious spirit. I love that you're just like this. You're like the anti. You're just like the rebel. You're the rebel without a cause, man. Now, do you have a fight set up for ONE FC coming up soon?
Yeah, we're in. I'm pretty sure I have the date, but they haven't given final confirmation, so I'm not allowed to say. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I kind of thought it was going to happen last week, but so I'm pretty sure it should be getting announced here any day now.
Now, is it a rematch with Luis Santos?
Yeah, I'm excited to get back in the cage with that ugly son of a bitch.
Now, Bubba, you see that last fight? The last fight,
Yeah.
Lewis was actually doing pretty well against Ben.
My thought was wait till Ben grabs him. Everyone's like, oh, he was whooping Ben's ass. I'm just like, Ben's waiting. He's setting a little trap. Wait till he grabs him. Then it's over. Because I've actually trained with Santos down in ATT. And I was riding him pretty well, So I was thinking, wait till Ben grabs him. He'll never get up again, And that might be the end of the round. He'll start out doing great in the second round. Ben grabs him. That's the end of that round. So I was just, me as a wrestler and knowing Ben. Ben was my coach when I won nationals. So I know how strong Ben is. And I'm just, wait till he grabs him. All that funny stuff looks great until he grabs your ass.
So Ben was your coach over at ASU?
Yeah.
Now, Ben.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got history.
Yeah.
Now, how great was that to coach Bubba when he beat his old team?
Well, Bubba was his own man by that point. He transferred to Arizona State when he was a senior, and he kind of knew what path he was on. So I might have gave a few words of advice here and there, but I can't say I could take too much credit for his accomplishments.
That's nice
Wait, I
to
have
say.
a question. Did you give him any advice that had to do with chocolate milk at all?
I don't know anything about chocolate.
Okay, just making sure.
What was that?
Okay.
That thing.
No, he
Chocolate
said,
melts in the third.
chocolate melts. Not chocolate milk.
Oh, I thought you said chocolate milk.
No, like
Chocolate melts
he was
in the
saying
third.
like
I was trying chocolate melt.
no, he
Like
Bubba was
MILTS or
Bubba.
chocolate milk,
No.
MILTS.
Well,
I'm
Bubba,
running on 40 minutes of sleep right now.
what Bubba was saying that he once was training with Masvidal and he was getting tired, and then Masvidal said to him, "Just so you know, chocolate melts in the third."
I said chocolate
So he
milk
was
in
saying
the
every
third.
time a black guy gets tired in the third, Bubba then thinks, shit, chocolate's melting right now. So that's what.
But no, Ben
We
did
used to
help me
call,
with my
Sean-
mindset.
Bubba and I had the coach there was named Sean Charles, and he coached at Missouri too. And the guys at Missouri would call him the Black Candle because this guy sweated like there was no tomorrow. And we always called him the Black Candle.
Now, I love your team. By the way, you got a great team over there. You got a very diverse team. One of the best guys on your team is Anthony Pettis, who probably is going to have a rematch with. Actually, he's going to fight Dos Anjos, probably the winner of Cerrone versus Dos Anjos. Now, Cerrone accused Dos Anjos of taking stuff, of juicing, of cycling. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, I don't know, but I think we're going to find out soon because these new rules that are in effect are going to make it very interesting for the guys who were previously cheating. So I have no idea about what'll come out. And I think Eric Silva last night. I can't say he was using because I didn't see him sticking the needle in his ass. But what I did see was he was jacked, and then last night he looked soft and pudgy, and he was terrible, really bad. So I think that's a big indicator of what was going on.
Now, I know that Brendan Schaub said a lot of these Brazilian guys, especially, are getting popped left and right. I mean, do you think it's just like do you think it's a kind of a pride thing where these Brazilian guys are like, I'd rather cheat than lose, so like I'll do whatever it takes to win?
Kamikazes.
I'm not sure. I do think it might be in their culture a little more. It's not frowned upon as badly in Brazil. I know, and just from the coach that I want to say, steroids are illegal in America. I want to say they're legal down there. You can get them kind of like at the pharmacy, like no big deal. So I want to say there is a little different vibe around them than there is in America.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. Because you look at I was doing the math, and you do Vitor Belfort, Vanderlei Silva. A lot of the
8 out of 10 fighters are Brazilian that are getting popped.
Yeah, we have no proof that Barao was on anything, but it just seems like since these new tests started, he's been folding. It seems like a lot of these guys are kind of. Even with that whole thing with Conor McGregor versus Aldo, with Aldo kicking that guy out of the gym, that whole thing was a little shady. Just that whole situation.
What's happening is it's like natural selection is finally taking course in fighting world.
But Ben, I remember you saying that you're not impressed with Conor McGregor. I remember after he beat Chad Mendes, you said you're just not a big fan.
Yeah, I just brought the fact that, and no one. I think the UFC said, "Hey, Chad, here's $500,000. Please don't bring this up at all." But from what I heard, Chad Mendes was out on some kind of big hunting trip 2 weeks prior when he took the fight, and so I don't know that we saw the best Chad Mendes. I think he gassed significantly and very early in the fight. I think he was kind of gassed in the first round, and people want to say it's a body kick, but I think it was because he was out hunting and not training 2 weeks prior to the fight.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense. I know that Conor called you pube head on Twitter.
Yeah. He's not the first one. I think Bisbing was the first one to call me that.
Oh, so he called you pube head.
He's always had the fro. That's classic Ben Askren having that
yeah,
fro.
of course.
I could totally see him looking down at all these motherfuckers and being like, "Is that all you have, really?"
Yeah, he's been hearing that forever.
I've had this hair forever. Where the fuck have you been?
Now one of your teammates got into a big fight recently with CM Punk. With Cathal Pendred, your teammate CM Punk. How's CM looking? Give us your thoughts on that. Give us an update on Punk.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to see him tonight because I couldn't go to today's practice. My wife got stuck at the doctor. They're checking her out, seeing if the baby's going to come out or not. So I'm actually going to see him in a little bit here. He's working his butt off. He's working hard. But yeah, a lot of these fighters, they're so dumb, and I think a lot of it has to do with jealousy, to be honest with you, because Punk's made, a boatload of money, and I know some of the WWE people, and I can just guess that he was the biggest star, but how much he made, he's never told me. But they're kind of jealous of that, and I made the funny comment when he came to the UFC, but the fact of the matter is he's got 2.5 million Twitter followers. It's no shit. The bald fat guy from UFC wanted him on the show. And so some of these fighters are definitely jealous of that. He's probably getting paid a lot more than them, despite the fact that he's never stepped in the octagon.
But now, Ben, calling Dana White the bald fat guy,
Who?
He was talking about Cathal.
No, he's saying it's obvious. The fans want to see you in the UFC. You have a lot of supporters. They want to see how well you match up against Rory McDonald, against Robbie Lawler, against Johnny Hendricks. But do you really think calling Dana the bald fat guy is going to help you?
What's his name again? I just know that there's that fat bald guy who's always yelling into my TV when I turn on when the fight.
Dana White. So do you really think calling Dana the bald fat guy is going to help your case?
Oh, well, I mean, it sure shit can't hurt it.
That's a true statement.
But I mean, Dana said that. But Dana said that Pettis is talking to you. Pettis is trying to get you into the UFC. I mean, he's kind of extending a hand here, right? I mean, by saying that.
Oh, a little bit. I mean, I brought up this point before. He's like the kid in school who's got the rich dad or rich uncle, whatever you want to call him, and then he picks on the other kids, and all of a sudden the one kid does something cool, and other people recognize that, and then all of a sudden he wants to be their friend. That's kind of how I view it. And I mean, I've never even made public a handful of things they did to me in the first negotiation that were just completely ridiculous.
Like what?
On all levels. So, yeah, I mean, Anthony actually, he's a really good friend, and he's reached out to me, reached out for me multiple times. But, man, I think there's going to be a lot of bridges that have to be rebuilt before anything happens there. And thankfully, I'm in a position where I don't have to grovel for money, and I can kind of do what I want. So, yeah, I can say bald fat guy, and I can do what I want.
But they obviously like you enough. Look, I mean, obviously Dana doesn't like Tito Ortiz. Tito's not going to corner any of his fighters he trains with. They let you corner people. They let you in the building. They obviously like you. Your name is mentioned on the broadcast all the time. You're an Olympian. I mean, you're never in any kind of trouble. You're never Ben Askren arrested for nothing. It's none of that shit.
I think maybe if I did steroids, miss weight, or beat women, I'd probably have a better chance of being in the UFC than if I was so clean cut.
No, do you really?
I don't know which one of those hobbies I'm going to take up, but I don't know. Steroids, it's been kind of fun. Beating women, that's all right. Missing weight.
Do you really feel that way?
All kinds of fun.
I mean, you can't really compare missing weight to beating women, but seriously, I mean, do you really feel that way? I mean, because I know that you said you want to fight Hendricks. By the way, Woodley Hendricks, how do you think that's going to go?
Yes, I'm so pumped. I think Tyron's actually going to spend some of his training camp up here in Milwaukee, so I'm excited to help him prepare because I think I can definitely give him the Johnny look, because Johnny's a decent striker. He'll strike the guys aren't that good, but I think he's going to be very weary of Tyron's power because Tyron hits really freaking hard. And so I think Johnny's going to spend a lot of time trying to push Tyron into the cage. So going to help him work on some tactics there, keep him off the cage, and hopefully he puts his fist really hard into Johnny's face.
It's going to be a good fight. I can't wait for that fight. Now, how do you think you do against Robbie Lawler, the champion?
Well, I think I'd do well against anyone 70 years.
So you think you could beat Robbie Lawler?
Yeah.
Bobby, you think so too?
Well, I think that he thinks that. I'm not saying that he can't. Obviously I want to see it, but I'm going to be biased. If we had to have that pick, I'm going to pick Askren because...
That's such a good statement. I think that he thinks that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was nodding my head. Before he even answered, I was nodding my head, yes, because I know that Askren, he's been to the top of the levels in many different occasions.
But you train with Robbie, right?
Yeah.
Have you sparred with him?
No, never sparred with Robbie.
Never sparred with him? But
just rolled around.
You just rolled around?
He can't deal with Askren's roll around strength.
Yeah.
Askren is very he's weird in the sense that you don't know that he's as strong as he is. He doesn't look like Hector Lombard. He doesn't look like the musclehead guys. But when he grabs you, that's it. You're not understanding.
So Ben, here you got a guy.
Hunter, did you miss those watermelon videos I put out?
No, I didn't miss him. I saw him. You crushed 2 watermelons and you had some watermelon left over. Of course I saw it. I'm a black guy. I love watermelon. I thought it was sacrilegious what you did to them, though.
So Ben, here you got a guy in Bubba Jenkins, who's an NCAA champion, a former teammate of Robbie Lawler, saying he would pick you to win. I mean, does that bother you in any kind of way, knowing that people think that you're the best in the world and you don't get to actually prove it?
I mean, a little bit, but obviously I've had to deal with this for my contract negotiation with 2013, so I've had to come to grips with this for a while, and you can't stay bitter your whole life about stuff, or you'll be a very angry, very miserable person. So, dude, I'm in a great situation. Maybe I don't get to go beat up Robbie Lawler or McDonald or Johnny Hendricks or any of those guys, but at the end of the day, I'm in a great situation, and I do come from the mindset that usually things come full circle, like the steroid thing. All these guys were they were doing well, so they're using steroids. And now, like Eric Silva, it's coming back to bite him in the ass. Like Vitor Belfort, how pathetic did he look in his last fight because he got off the juice? Yeah. So, I don't know in what shape or form the good karma is going to come back to me, but I do think at some time I'm doing all the right things. I'm not beating women, missing weight, having racist. Maybe my new hobby could be racist rants on Twitter. I can just go off on different races. You got to do something to get in the UFC. Maybe it's racist rants on Twitter. I don't know.
Probably not your best.
Well, listen, Ben. You're one of my favorite people, man. I'm a fan for life, and you have no idea how much it means to have a guy of your caliber calling to the podcast. So thank you, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
So much.
Appreciate you having me. Always fun.
Definitely, man. Good luck with the baby, and she's got a great family coming out.
Get a shotgun. You got 2 girls now.
Take care, brother.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, that was Ben Askren. I believe the best wrestler in MMA. He was an Olympian. He was a 2-time national champion. He was a 4-time finalist. He is undefeated in the UFC. In MMA. He was the Bellator champion. They kicked him out because he was too boring. He's now the ONE FC champion. And he's also a singer. We made a song together, the Askren side. You ever see this song?
No, I haven't.
Hello.
Ben Askren, how are you?
I'm doing well. You guys?
You're on the MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Rich Slayton, and Ashley Evans Smith, another wrestler, 4-time All-American wrestler in college, and now a UFC star. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm good. What happened to Bubba? You guys kicked him off?
No. Bubba's got a fight Friday night, so he's in fight mode.
I figure you guys cut him or something.
No, we did not cut him. By the way, congrats on. So here's if you guys don't know this. So I thought of this idea for a song parody where Ben Askren would play Adele, and it would be "Hello from the Askren Side." I called Ben. At first, I got a little bit. You were a little ambivalent because I think your wife told you that you had to get singing lessons because you thought you were really going to sing, and then you're like, "Fuck it, I'm going to do it." So you fly out to Vegas. We tape it. Next thing you know, it blew up on the internet. Am I right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I have got more people. I heard people. I've heard people that I never heard from in like 5 years about that video. I mean, like these are people that they don't call me after I have a kid. They don't call me after I have a fight. They saw that video and they called me up or they texted me. It was really funny, man. It went viral.
You killed it, man. You killed it. It was people thought that you were really singing that. By the way.
They did. A lot of people still do it. You know, I'm gonna leave them with that illusion if they want to.
It was awesome. What did your wife and kids think about it?
Oh, they both thought it was awesome. My daughter actually requested I sing it now. She says her song is "Let It Go" from Frozen, and then she sings that, and then she says, "Daddy, your song," and she wants me to sing. Hello from the Askren Side.
That is awesome. I talked to Dana. Dana thought it was really funny, by the way. So
did he? I figured, but sometimes he's got a sense of humor, and sometimes he doesn't. So you never know which way that was going to swing.
Exactly, that's absolutely true. I did not. Yeah, but although according to him, he's like, I love funny shit. I live for funny shit. So That's what he told me. That's what he said. He goes, I live for funny shit. Now,
Nice.
now how? But
They took it down. You guys copyrighted some copyright infringement from Adele or something. They got pissed. It went too viral. They took it down.
I know. I had nothing to do with that. You actually told me that, and I was like, "Fuck, man, you can't do anything right." It's just like I was so pissed about that.
Yeah.
But man,
Maybe we can get one of those DS petitions
Diaz
to
petitions.
Obama and can come back up.
We should do that. That's hilarious. Somebody, if you're listening, start a petition to the White House to get the Ben Askren Adele parody back up. The people need to see that. That is so funny. Now I texted you, by the way. I said, Ben, I truly believe this, and I truly do believe it, that you're going to be the first Bellator, ONE FC, and UFC champion, right? You texted back, it would be a great way to end this. And that concerned me. Are you looking at the end already?
Oh, I bet. When earlier on in my career, I always said I'd be done by the time I was 30. And the reason behind that is, man, I love reading, and my favorite topic is biographies of great athletes. And you can really count on your hand the amount of athletes who retired at the right time. And then there was actually a couple this year. I think Marshawn Lynch retired, and someone else that was really good and kind of still in their prime. But really, there's very, 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 very few. And so I never wanted to be one of those athletes that try to think he still had it, but he doesn't, because it happens to almost all of them, no matter how good they are. They always. Anderson Silva, look at the greatest of all time, and we're witnessing his downfall before our eyes. And it's not saying he's not still a good fighter, but he's not what he was.
How many total times have you actually been hit, though? Like, if you start doing the math, like, can you count that on one hand?
In my last 5 fights, like 4 times, maybe.
Yeah,
you've got at least, by the math, like 700 more punches to take before you retire.
Which is crazy because your head is so big. I feel like you can get hit from like the. No, but Ben, if you retired today, let's say you retired today, people would be furious because there's still people out there, and I'm one of them, believe that you're one of the best 170 pounders on the planet, if not the best.
But Adam, I realistically had retirement talks when the UFC negotiations went bad after Bellator. I had a couple weeks where I'm like, well, I love coaching wrestling, and I'm in a place where I could do that if I wanted to, move on to that full time. And I literally, that was back in 2013 or, the end of 2013 when I was thinking like, well, it's been a good run. Maybe I'll just call it a day.
That would suck though. Now, how do you think you would do against Robbie Lawler?
Great.
You think you'd beat him?
Yeah.
What round?
100%. I can't say I'd finish him for sure, but at the end of the day, I feel like at the fight I'm going to dominate because the way Robbie fights is streaky, right? He takes his rest and then he explodes, and he takes his rest and he explodes, and I'm not going to let him have that rest period. I'm gonna be over him from the word go. When I get on top of someone, it's an exhausting process. So, he's not going to be able to have those streaks, and I think that's the way he fights, and he's going to have a hard time beating me.
Now, you always were very vocal about wanting a rematch against Johnny Hendricks because he beat you by 1 point in high school, which was a great wrestling match. I watched that. That was a great match. Now, when he lost, you tweeted out, ha, ha, ha. That was kind of a dick move, right?
Listen, guys, I'm an athlete, but I'm a fan too. Like, I can't be a fan of the sport, and don't tell me there's not people that when they get their ass kicked, you're like, yes.
I try not to do that because the only time people who have gotten really mad at me was when I did that, and I'm like, you know what?
Well, I can't.
But you're a fighter.
You're thinking in your head, right? You're thinking in your head. So, people say it's a dick move, but anyone who is saying that there's not people they don't like and there's not people they don't want to get beat up is lying. They are lying. Nobody likes everybody.
No, absolutely. Now, Wonder Boy, though, really put it on him. Now, are you concerned, like, how you would do against Wonder Boy with this whole new movement, karate, crazy flying ninja shit that's going on?
Yeah, you know what? I think Johnny didn't do his homework. A lot of the guys from Rufus actually have taekwondo and karate backgrounds, and those guys move a specific way, and it is very tricky. And from what I saw, I didn't watch the whole fight, but I've seen clips of it. It looked like Johnny was just completely unprepared for that style and that movement. So, man, I feel like I'm comfortable fighting people that move like that because a lot of guys in my gym move like that. And I just feel like Johnny didn't do his homework on the situation at all.
He had no camp. He left, you know what, he made a really bad deal with Team Takedown where everybody got half everybody's shit. And he was like, fuck this.
I know.
I'm bringing in 90%. So he left, but he left and didn't go to a camp. He brought in his own boxing coach, his own this coach, and then that's kind of the end of him. You know, that ended up, as far as that fight go, that was a mistake. You know, if he would have went to Rufus Sport or American Top Team or AKA, I think he would have done a lot better. Or even a Greg Jackson's, you know. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, someone besides the boxing. Boxing is a great sport, but it's not MMA. And if that's the only person you're doing your striking with, you're going to be missing a lot of stuff. I mean, it's different. Anyone who fights can tell you it's different. It's not even the same. I can't describe it. You gotta know that.
Now, Wonder Boy versus Rory, who wins?
I'm just pissed my guy Tyron's getting left out of the mix. When are they going to give him a damn fight? I mean, he made weight. He did his job, and then Johnny gets the fight first. Give me a freaking break. I don't give a damn. Give Tyron a fight.
Yeah, you're right. And Tyron, by the way, Tyron thinks that you could beat anybody. I don't know what you did to your teammates but everybody we have on the podcast who was a teammate of yours, from Michael Chandler, EJ Brooks, Tyron Woodley, are all convinced that you beat anybody in the world.
I mean, those guys know me better than anybody. We spent years in the same room together. And they saw how I work, and they saw how I prepare, and they saw how diligent I am. So they have faith in me, and it's the same way with me with them because I saw the same things. And when you spend that much time with somebody, you don't get the fake version of them, right? You don't get what you see on TV, and you don't get what people think of that person. You know who that person is because you spend a lot of time with them. So. There's not much better relationship you have than with your college wrestling teammates. And you, believe me, you know everything about those people.
Totally. Now, you're fighting April 15th against Nikolai Alexakin. It seems like a tough Russian dude. What do you know about this guy? How are you preparing for this guy? Excited about this or what?
Yeah, I'm excited. He's another combat sambo guy, which actually that style kind of, I feel like, lends to my style because it's kind of like, it's wrestling mixed with grappling mixed with punching. So it's kind of a watered down version of MMA. But a lot of these guys, the people who I'm going to have trouble with are the world class grapplers or the world class kickboxers. And if you're just a little mixed everything, I feel like you're just not going to have enough in any one area for me because I'm going to be able to out wrestle you and you can't submit me. So yeah, I'm excited for it. One's really going after the Russian guys. There has been a lot of Russians coming over to the UFC also. So I knew it was only a matter of time until Russia and the other Soviet countries started really pumping out fighters because they have so many just high-level wrestlers, just tough dudes. So you're really seeing them kind of explode in the combat sports world.
Now, who do you like, by the way, this weekend? Nate Diaz or Conor McGregor?
I like entertainment. I think that's what we're going to get. A whole bunch of it. I mean, I can you really picture this fight not being entertaining?
No. I know Conor called you pube head. Do you like Conor?
What?
Guys, you know what? I didn't like him for a long time because I thought the UFC was protecting him, and they were. That was legitimate. But once he knocked out Aldo, I'm like, whatever. If he can talk like that and he can do that, whatever. I'm a fan, right? So, I'm a fan now. I wasn't, but once a guy can talk the talk and walk the walk, I'm behind him. Most people can't, and he did. So, but either way, I think Nate's a pretty easy matchup for him. I think Nate is hard to kill, though, so we're going to get a lot of entertainment. And who knows? Maybe there's a chance that Conor gets tired and Nate takes him out late. You never know.
But then there were word that Conor turned down Khabib and didn't pick Cerrone. who was in shape, Khabib would be a rough fight for anybody, like you said, with those combat sambo guys. Do you think Nate was the easiest choice and the UFC was like, all right, we're going to sell a lot of tickets and this guy's going to win?
Yeah, I think he sells the most tickets and most pay-per-views, and it's the most entertaining, and it's the easiest fight. I'm interested to see Khabib get back to the mix because he was so damn good for so long, and now, God, it's almost been 2 years. I don't know, 2 years. It's been a long-ass time since he's fought anybody. So I've been interested to see him get back in the mix, and then with Dos Anjos, was it going to be a tough fight for Conor? So. He shouldn't be out that long, so who knows? Maybe we'll see that one in UFC 200. I got to assume Dos Anjos is coming back from a foot break, in 6 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it takes.
Now, what's going on with your teammate CM Punk? Everybody said they had a whole TV show looking for a guy to fight him. This guy, Mickey Gall, looked pretty tough, and then CM Punk got hurt again. What's going on?
Yeah, I guess, I didn't even know about the back surgery till they announced it online. And then I texted him. I said, damn, man, you're having surgery? You got to tell somebody about that kind of stuff. So I knew he was having some issues with his back at that time, but I didn't know it was a surgery-type issue. And obviously, he had a long career in WWE, and a lot of times those guys take a huge amount of abuse. So, for him, I think the battle is as much staying healthy as it is learning how to fight.
Now, Bisping said he lost 18 out of 19 smokers in the gym. Is that true?
I think Bisping made that up, but that's a really funny thing to make up. I mean, that's pretty funny.
But
I think it's fictitious.
Were you at any of these smokers?
I know of one, but that's all I know of.
What happened at this one smoker?
I wasn't there.
Come on.
I swear he fought a guy that was, I think he was 4-0, one of the newer pro guys, who's 4-0, and they fought. And they're doing some TV show or something on Punk, so I know they taped from that, so we'll probably get to see a video of it. I was during amateur class. It was at night.
Come on. You asked who won. This is bullshit.
Yeah, Punk didn't win that one.
Okay, all right. So he lost to an amateur. Okay, he lost.
I might not see now. I think that was supposed to be confidential for the show. Okay, I mean, you got prying it out of me.
Come on, look, hey, you gotta. Hey, listen.
I can't not tell the truth. It kills me. I gotta like if you ask, it's like, what was that one show where if you ask the guy 3 times, he's gotta tell you the truth? That's like me. Like, if you ask me anything 3 times, I'm just gonna tell you the damn truth because I can't not tell you the truth.
That's. By the way, how's your wife? Is really hot. How did you land your wife?
Well, stunning good looks has something to do with it. No, I was at. You know what? It's funny. I don't really believe in fate, but I met this guy who owned a concert venue, and this concert was sold out. And one of my other friends, it was her birthday, and her friend wanted to go to this concert. And so I said, "Hey, can I get 4 tickets?" to my buddy, and he got me a table. And I took my 2 friends, and it just so happened that my girlfriend was sick that night, and my wife sat down at my table. And then my other friends started. They're females, so they started talking to her, and they told her I was awesome and whatnot. And sure enough, by the end of the night, she was in love with me.
So you left your girlfriend for this woman?
It's what I left my girlfriend for my wife. Yeah.
Yes. Oh well. Hey, listen.
Yeah, that happens. Right?
It happens, man. It happens, right?
And so it's fate. Like who knows that I met the guy that owned the concert venue so I could get tickets, or that it was my friend's birthday, or that my girlfriend was sick at the time. But it's all good. It worked out.
It was all fate. It was all fate. Are you going to be in Vegas this weekend?
No, I'm not. I don't have anything going on. I actually get to chill for a weekend. We had the kids' high school state tournament last weekend. So I was up in Madison all week, and that was a lot of fun. Any
of your kids win?
Yeah, we had 6 state champs, and that was the highest we've had was 2 before. We're still growing it bigger. We had 6 state champs, so it was a pretty awesome weekend.
That is awesome. By the way, so I texted Ben Askren, my highlight wrestling video, right? One night. I was like, I want to do, I go, this guy, look, I have his number. This guy was an Olympian. I go, Ben, what did you think of these moves? And he goes, you have great music. I'm like, thanks.
Oh no!
I'm like, thanks a lot, man. Like the music you liked.
Like that editing though. Awesome.
That was such bullshit. He said the music was good.
Now, Ben, have you ever considered after your mixed martial arts career is over? I know you're an avid disc golfer pursuing a PDGA Professional Disc Golf Association career.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try. I don't play any damn tournaments anymore. The Amateur World is in Madison, which is just down the road, an hour from me. So I'm really considering playing. I actually scheduled our camps this summer, so there's no camps that week, so it will be open for me to play. Then afterwards, I have 3, 5, 6, 7 tournaments a year. Go play pro, kick some butt. My goal was always to be a 1,000 rated disc golfer, which means it's a world-class pro rating. And I got to 996 the year I took 2nd at AM Nationals and 9th at AM World. So,
well, I'm currently wearing a chain smoker T-shirt, and on behalf of the MMA Roasted Podcast, we all know you beat me in wrestling, and I'm 4-time dick joke champion Rich Slayton, so I beat you in dick jokes. I challenge you to 36 holes of disc golf here on my home course.
Have you played before?
Yeah, I'm a lifetime player. I'm wearing a disc golf shirt. I'm wearing an Ultimate Frisbee hat.
Where at? What course? De La Vega?
No. Sylmar.
Sylmar? I don't know that one. What town?
It's up in It's like in Los Angeles. It's near Burbank.
Okay, what's that famous one in Los Angeles at 36 holes? One of the oldest ones.
Yeah, you're talking about Oak Grove up in We can play Oak Grove too. We can go classic.
Yeah, that's by Pasadena, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
come and bring it, man.
Cool.
I got Innova all up in my bag, ready to go. Throw down.
He's calling you out, man.
I'm a discraft guy, so I'm
you
definitely
animal.
have to kick your ass.
That's amazing. I like it. Rich, you're calling out Askren in disc golf.
Hunter, have you ever played disc golf?
No.
Never
once.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I remember in high school, it was all the stoner hippie kids used to do it. Like they'd cut class and go play disc golf.
It sounds like a fun thing.
It's not that different now.
I would love to do it. So Ben, how many fights do you have left on this ONE FC contract?
6 fights.
6 fights left?
6 fights left, yes, sir.
Wow. Can you do them all in one night?
Wow. That would be interesting. That might set some kind of record. I don't think everyone's ever fought 6 times in a night, have they?
Wow, 6 more fights. No, but you got to fight every month, man. We got to get you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. But I've never fought. I haven't fought. It was a blessing and a curse that I got the Bellator belt within 18 months of starting fighting. But that year I fought 3 times in a tournament, and then I won the belt. And I have not fought more than twice in a year since then.
Yeah, and that's got to be killing you.
I'm hoping to get over the hump this year and fight at least 3 times. And they told me they're going to make it happen, and I'm looking forward to making it happen. Because kind of when you were the champ of Bellator, you always had to wait for the next guy to win the tournament, so you had an opponent. So I never got to move that fast, and then it was kind of the same thing in ONE. I've been waiting for challengers.
Right.
So hopefully this year will be the year that I get moving and I get 3 fights in a year at least.
Ashley, any questions for the great Ben Askren?
No, I can't think of any, to be honest.
Do you have any questions?
Where did you wrestle at? I was curious of that.
Oh, in high school, I'm from Northern California. I wrestled on a boys team called at Ukiah High, and then I went to Menlo College in the Bay Area.
Okay, cool.
Wrestled there, yeah.
I've thrown disc in Ukiah, actually.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. We got some awesome courses up there.
Nice.
But Menlo was you, Carla, right?
We actually had, Adam, we had a girl in the state finals here in Wisconsin last week.
Wow.
And she was up 5-0 after the first period, and she was going to probably become the first woman to win a state title in Wisconsin. And then she chose bottom, and she shouldn't have chose bottom. She got turned like twice or 3 times, and she ended up losing 9-6.
Wow, dude, there was this girl. I was convinced that I was coaching the best wrestler I've ever coached. He's still this kid Max. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He beat everybody. I remember.
Yeah. He's a little stud.
He's a little stud, and he kept losing to this one girl who was a 7th grader. who is unbelievable. This little girl, Ben, have you ever heard of her, Askren? If you haven't,
What's her name?
she's one to watch. Katja Osteen. Katja Osteen from Simi Valley. Because I was like, I thought she was just a judo girl. Because he kept losing he beat her once, but it turns out she won the kids freestyle A6, Greco national, folk style, cadet national. Like she came in first place in every one of these things. She's a beast. She started wrestling. She was 5, national champion by the time she was 8. But
wow,
it's a different sport now. It's a different sport.
You know what? With girls, I watch and coach kids wrestling in high school. With girls, it's fair until the boys hit puberty, and then puberty is like a cheat code.
Yeah.
For boys, because they start getting this, testosterone that girls don't have. So it makes it really unfair when 13, 14, 15, whatever it hits.
So how do you explain why I keep losing then?
You have not hit puberty yet.
Damn, one of these days.
So Ashley, by the way, who do you want to fight next?
I want to fight Raquel. I want to get that win back. That's kind of one thing that happened in my amateur career. I lost to a girl named Tori Adams, and then when I went pro, I got to fight her and I beat her. And you still have that loss, but it's really redeeming. It's a good quality to show that you've improved and kind of get that loss back, but kind of not. And then if you did watch the Raquel Pennington fight, I do feel like I was winning up to
You were till the bulldog choke.
Yeah, which is really unorthodox, and whatever. I let my guard down, but I'd like to get that back. And she's a really cool chick. I'm not one to just like talk shit because a lot of my opponents have been really cool. I mean, if you do talk shit, I'll talk shit back. I just haven't had that opportunity, I guess. But she's a really cool chick, like the kind of chick I can see like fighting and then getting a beer with afterwards. But first,
the only girl that ever got mad at you was Fallon Fox, right? Afterwards.
Yeah, she's the only person to ever talk shit, and then just because of the PC, LGBT community backlash, I didn't want to talk crap, and there was obviously a lot of opportunities to talk trash on a transgender fighter, but I didn't want to sink to that level.
Right. And
I don't know. I would have talked trash on that. We're talking about Fallon Fox.
Ashley was
it's ridiculous.
Ashley was the first person to beat Fallon Fox.
You know what? I think I watched that fight live. I'm pretty sure I remember that fight. Yeah. But that is, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like
I was the first person to beat Fallon Fox in disc golf, so I think that's.
No, I think if girls want to fight Fallon Fox and they want to sign up for it, great. But Fallon Fox should have disclosed that she was a man for her first 2 fights, which she did not. Which is, I think that might be things you want to know. That might actually be something that you should be telling people.
I don't even know where she's at anymore. I haven't heard anything from her forever.
Yeah, that's just my problem with it. Yeah. Now, Askren, listen, man, you are you're an American hero, man. You're an American hero. You're an Olympian. Nice. You're a badass. By the way, your Olympic team, right? It was you, Mako, right?
Yep.
And then the Henry Cejudo.
Nice.
Yep. And
Daniel Cormier. That's some fucking team. Jesus.
Is Mako fight?
Mako trains an American top team. He's like the head trainer.
He's like coaches now. He fought a little bit, but I think he just coaches now.
Oh.
Yeah, he just coaches. He's a nice guy. I hung out with Mako one night at Oklahoma City, and he's a good dude. Mako. His arms are too short for fighting, I think.
He's intimidating. Well, the other thing is he waited till after 2012 to start fighting, which I believe at that point he would have been 31, maybe.
Right.
And that's just so late to start. So I think that was a big issue for him as he started so late. Henry didn't start fighting till after 12, but I was in Phoenix for a few years, and he was training quite a bit for MMA, even though he never took a fight. He was spending a lot of time in the gym, and I know he had a few amateur boxing matches and stuff. So he was kind of like getting ready for it, even though he hadn't made the decision to fight. Whereas Steve didn't start at all till after 2012. And that's a long time to wait. Daniel and I both started in 2009. Kind of got on it right after the Olympics, and that makes a huge difference.
Do you think Henry beats DJ?
I think it's a tough fight, man. And when you look at Henry's resume, he hasn't fought anyone like DJ. The one thing I can't say about Henry is he's a winner. I mean, not a lot of people thought he was going to win in the Olympics he had some other losses that kind of didn't point to saying this guy's going to win the Olympics. But when the stage was set, he got it done.
Bubba said he had a really easy weight class, that it was really easy for him to win. Is that true?
At 121? We're talking about the Olympics?
Yeah.
Bubba's crazy. No, that's not true.
That was crazy.
That is not true. I mean, I'd have to go back and look to make sure, but the one thing I know that maybe is what Bubba would say. I hope Bubba wasn't saying it's easy weight class because that's just insane.
Come on, when you're in the Olympics, is there really an easy weight class though? That's like
there's not.
By the way, I hung out with that guy that beat you in college. What's that guy's name? The guy that beat you the first 2 times.
Oh God, I didn't want to talk about him. The point I was going to make about Henry's bracket was that Henry's nemesis, the Russian guy who passed away, Basic Kudakov, lost to the Japanese in the other semifinal. So Henry never had to wrestle the guy who had won the previous world championship and who was kind of his nemesis,
Okay, so
maybe that's what Bubba would think. I'm not sure, but easy weight class, Bubba's out of his mind.
Wait, what was the guy that beat you? What was his name? The guy from Arizona? He's a coach at ASU now?
No, I think it's Wyoming. Oh, he is at Arizona State. I'm not bringing him up.
He's a nice guy. He's such a nice guy. And I told him that you were a nice guy. I tried to broker the peace deal between you and him, honestly, because he...
No, I tried to broker that peace deal years ago, but he don't want to hear it.
Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about?
My success, because he kicked my butt. I mean, listen, I had 8 losses in college, and 7 were to him.
Oh,
so
no. Really?
I could dislike him, but...
What's his name?
Can I just know? I just want to know now.
What's his name? Tell us his name.
His name's Chris Pendleton.
Chris Pendleton. Yeah, he's such. He brought me to the ASU to like make everyone laugh, and I actually went to the team to the practice. I told jokes. The guy couldn't have been sweeter. And then I was like, yeah, I'm friends with Ben Askren. And then just something came over his face. Like he was like,
yeah.
Why does he? If he beat you 7 times, why does he hate you so much?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't know. He kicked my ass, and then he still doesn't like me. Like, I don't know what his freaking problem is.
Yeah, I don't understand either. But you know what, though? He liked the video you made of Adele. He actually retweeted it and said it was really funny. So maybe now. But yeah, it's such a weird thing. Chris Pendleton, nice guy.
Weird.
Nice guy.
Because if he doesn't exist, I'm the second best college wrestler ever, right? I only lose 1 time.
You were never born.
And he beat me both for the national finals.
So funny. Yeah. So all right. So then that next, because I said, I go, why don't we have you and Askren on the podcast together? And he wasn't having it.
That's funny.
So anyway, listen, Ben, you're a great guy. Hope to see you soon. There's a gig in Milwaukee. It doesn't pay very well, but I was gonna take it just so I could hang out with you and the team.
Take it or no?
I might take it just to hang out with you and the boys at Rufus Sport.
When is it?
I don't know. It's every week. It's at some strip club in Milwaukee.
That's the old tennis owns.
Oh, really?
He used to own not the strip club. He used to own the bar is called
Silk.
Showtime. It's Showtime, Silk, and the comedy club are all like in one. One thing.
Yeah, I was gonna take the gig just so I could hang out with you guys. Should I take it?
I think so.
Yeah, I might open for Adam just to make this matchup happen. You polish those Discraft discs, Ben Askren. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Will you come for real?
Yeah, let's do this.
If you come, I'll do it.
Let's do this.
All right, listen, Ben.
Let's do it. We'll throw discs all day.
Snap.
I love it. Well, thanks a lot, Askren. I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, thanks, guys. See ya.
That is so... Wow. I don't understand why Chris hates him so much. He beat him 7 times.
That's so sad. He was like, he kicked my ass 7 out of 8 times. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I lost 8 matches, 7 were to him.
Well, prepare for me to hate him, too, because I'm going to crush him 7 out of 8 times. Coming up soon.
Well, listen, that is our podcast. I want to thank our sponsors. Hey, Ben Askren, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Good. Sorry, we we called you earlier, but then we were talking to Charles Crazy Horse Bennett, who now goes by Felony. Had a lot of interesting things to say. Are you here with Renato Laranja and Alan Juban, CB Gold? How are you, Ben?
Well, I missed what you said. What did you say there?
Yeah, why you brush over us like that?
I said I'm here with Alan Juban, Renato Laranja.
Okay, I know him.
And you know Renato Laranja?
I know him also, yeah.
Of course you know that one.
And then CB Gold, I'm sure you've seen him in your pantry. So how are you doing, man? What's going on?
Man, I'm doing well. Really, I haven't been fighting anybody, not by my doing.
Because they scared.
And so I've been focusing a lot on my wrestling academy business. We just opened up our third academy here in Wisconsin, and then we also we bought a building. So we're moving on one of our academies into the building we bought, and that happens like next week. So we've been really, really busy with that, and that's going really, really well.
Where are you getting all this fucking money to buy a building and shit? Where the fuck is... I created this sport, and I don't have no fucking buildings.
A wise man once said, "It's not how much you make; it's how much you keep."
God,
So
another wise man said.
Right there.
Another wise man said, "If you know what you got, then you ain't got much." Porra caralho.
No, Ben. Ben. The word is you don't have to validate this, but the word is you were making $100,000 a fight for ONE FC from the get go. Are we in the ballpark?
Yeah, you're in the ballpark, and it might have went up since then.
I would have been there too for that money like that.
And it might have went up. So when people say why isn't Ben Askren in the UFC or why isn't he in Bellator, because they're going to start you out with maybe 20-20, maybe
Well, I was making. I think my last fight in Bellator was 26-26, I believe.
God,
man, I mean, I could write a book on my free agency period. I pretty much told Bellator I'm out, and then I haven't fully put out there to the extent that I was screwed by the UFC, but I got screwed pretty royally, and it was lucky for me that because I was 12-0 and I was ranked 6th in the world, I had some pretty good offers from one championship and World Series of Fighting, and so I was able to still secure a pretty solid contract for myself, even after that happened.
So that being said, there's no question if you're why you would. I mean, you have a family. You have while MMA is a love of yours, I would say wrestling is your passion, right?
Yeah, wrestling is number one. Always will be number one. You know what's wrong with MMA? There's just too many sleaze bags in MMA. Well, I'm gonna tell you two things. Number
take
one,
that back.
Sleaze bags in MMA. I'm sure you know all kinds of them, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course I do.
And then number two would be there's not I'm going to use Chael Sonnen's term, there's not a competitive architecture to where we determine a champion, In wrestling, for example, if you think you're the best in the country, well, every year, if you're college age, there's an NCAA championship. You show up. If you're the best guy there, you win. Every single year, there's a U.S. Open. If you show up, you enter the bracket. If you beat everybody to win, you're the best guy, right?
Yeah.
If you win that, you go to the World Championships. Everybody shows up. You wrestle it out. There's a best guy, right? And so I don't enjoy the fact that, I do and I don't. I don't enjoy the fact that money a lot of times drives fights. It's like, why did GSP get the title fight at 185? It's pretty ridiculous in any sense of the imagination. And so I sometimes do like that there's money, but I wish the competitive architecture was there so we could actually find out who the best in the world was on at least a semi-regular basis.
That would be nice, but when money get involved, man, it's just like any other business. It's like the fucking music or movies or whatever. When money get involved, it's who put butt in the seat there.
You look at Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. I mean, the only reason we're having that conversation is because of money.
Of course.
100%. Money skews things so much to the point that people were saying after Conor knocked out Eddie that Conor is the greatest fighter of all time. And I'm thinking, guys, he's 2-1 this year, and one of those two is a very questionable decision in my opinion. This year, he's 2-1, and that one loss and the other questionable decision was to a guy who's ranked 8th in his weight class.
No, you're right.
So
and it wasn't even that fight. That fight could have been at 155. It wasn't like he fought a guy coming down from 190. Well, I'm sure Nate loses weight, but Nate has had a lot of fights at 155. Yeah. Most of his fights, actually.
But let me
realistically, they were both.
Let's not take away what this guy has done for himself. He's very smart.
and he had smart.
What was that? Smart.
Listen, Alan Joban.
T is silent.
Yeah, you still recovering. Now, what? I lost my train of fucking thought.
Smart. What he's
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, now.
Listen, the boxing thing is so ridiculous. It's just like, I'm not the best wrestler in the world right now. If I went to the World Championships, I would not place. I promise you that. But thinking that, and Floyd's the best in the world, thinking that someone from MMA who has never competitively wrestled in his life could beat me in a match, that is like so laughable. Like, that is like the most ridiculous thought in the world.
But that's a testament.
And so Conor McGregor never having boxed, the thought of him beating Floyd Mayweather, if that actually happens, then it just says boxing sucks, what it says.
But, it's a testament to how magnetic and how much this guy has whipped up everybody into a frenzy. You don't just do that by luck. This fucking guy is smart, okay?
It depends on how stupid the public is.
But whatever. Look.
How people
hey, look, there's a lot of people.
He's a great marketer. I'll give you the fact. He's definitely a great marketer.
Yeah,
There's
and
100% no doubt about that.
Nobody did that for him. He had to did that. So it's like, look, if they want to shut this guy up, they got to beat the shit out of him.
He's also the only guy from Ireland.
Who do you think? Sorry, go ahead.
Or like being like a big fish in a small pond helps.
Yeah,
if
he's
Conor
the
McGregor
pride of Ireland.
Was from New Jersey.
Why?
He wouldn't have this all of a sudden all this huge fan base and this and that. It's sort of, I'm not saying he got lucky, but a lot of things have lined up in his favor.
Yes,
100%. Look,
who do you think wins Personality of the Year at the MMA Fighter Awards in 2017? Conor McGregor or Renato Laranja?
Wow, look, say that's not fair to put him in a category that he can't win that one. Because if you're talking about that, I'm always Personality of the Year. And when I was nominated that one year, they fucking hobbed me and gave it to Joe Hogan, who wasn't even there. He did a videotape speech, okay? I had the courtesy to came all the way there.
Now, Ben, you don't think, though, if it was, back when you said you're not the best wrestler in the world, if it was folk style right now in your weight class, you don't think you could come and like beat anybody in your weight class?
If it's folk style and you give me 6 to 9 months to train, I think I can give anyone a run for their money in folk style. But in freestyle, right now, number one, the weight classes are jacked up. There was 163 to 189, and number two, some of those the Russian kids and Iranian guys that they're performing at such high levels right now. I'm out of my prime. Whether I want to admit it or not, I am. That was about 5 years ago. So, yeah, folk style, I would give myself a chance. Freestyle, no, definitely
Well,
not.
of course. How the fuck can you imagine to be better at freestyle? You're white. Folk is going to be more your style. And on top of that, what the fuck does this have to do with fighting?
Nothing. It was just an interesting. Now, I heard, Ben, that
Renato, you know that jiu-jitsu is significantly less likely background to create a champion of mixed martial arts than wrestling, right?
That's up to your opinion. An opinion is like an asshole. It reminds me of you.
Now, Ben, I heard through the grapevine that when you and Woodley spar, it's pretty even. Is that how it goes?
I have sparred one round with Tyron Woodley in my life.
Oh, okay.
So this is all lies.
We've worked out. We've done a lot of wrestling. We've done a lot of jiu-jitsu, but we have not sparred. I figure when he fights, if they ever give Damian Maia a shot, which is, they probably never will. They'll probably just continue to sit him on the shelf. Then I will be a very effective sparring partner for Woodley because I can give him that look. But I couldn't imitate Stephen Thompson. If you paid me $1 million, I couldn't imitate him.
But you said you would ragdoll Thompson in a fight.
That would happen.
I'm not surprised.
Ben, if you had to break down, I know you said you only sparred him, and I'm not asking you to talk trash on Tyron, but what levels would you give yourself the advantage in the wrestling compared to jiu-jitsu and striking, all those? Which ones did you have the upper hand on them?
I mean, yeah, I don't like getting in that discussion too much because I would never fight Tyron. Mm-hmm.
I think stylistically we're a lot different. He is not a volume striker or not he wasn't a volume wrestler either. He never kept a really high pace. He picked and chose his spots. Sometimes almost even to a fault, like you would say with this last Wonderboy fight, almost to a fault. In certain rounds, he just didn't get off.
I agree.
All the strikes they needed to get off, and so I think with Tyron, the way we've seen Tyron get beat, and he's been significantly more accurate, is when he doesn't land that big punch. I mean, that's when we've seen him lose fights. So obviously, if you fight Tyron Woodley, and I don't think this is not rocket science, you can't get hit with a big shot, because when people get hit with a big shot against Tyron, they go down, right? So I think I would, if I were to fight Tyron, I'd have to play it very smartly, and then just stay tight, stay on him, and kind of dry hump him, as people call it.
Let me ask you this: when you guys grapple, let's say if you were doing more so jiu-jitsu. When you guys roll in jiu-jitsu, is it more is there submissions, or is it more one guy trying to stay on a dominant position on top?
More one guy trying to stay on a dominant position. Obviously, both come from that wrestling background, and for MMA, you want to be on top. You do not want to be on bottom in MMA. Maybe in 1997 you did, but 2017, if you're spending a lot of time on bottom, that means you're spending a lot of time getting beat up.
Hey, take it easy, okay? 97, 93, 91, that was a lot of my greatest fucking years.
No, Ben. Recently, Matt Hughes said he wanted to come back, and then you said you wanted to be his first fight. What's up with you and Matt Hughes?
Man, I don't. You know what? It's hard. It is sometimes it's hard to put your finger on exactly what. But I have never liked Matt Hughes. I mean, we're talking since he came on the scene. I was like, there was just something about that guy that rubbed me the wrong way. And then obviously then when I got into MMA and kind of started figuring out the MMA community, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of very adequate reasons not to like Matt Hughes. I won't go down the list, but there's a lot of good reasons not to. And obviously I'd like to fight Matt Hughes. That would be that would be a lot of fun.
Is it because he's a man of God and you're a funky white boy who likes to listen to funk music and soul music? You call yourself a funky white boy?
You nailed it. Nailed it.
By the way, I don't know what it is with you and these Mizzou fighters, but like anytime we've had Chandler, Tyron, even EJ Brooks on it, they're all convinced that no one in the world could beat you in anything. Was it because you think you were the captain of the team and these guys were looking up to you at the time?
You know what? Actually, it is. I paid them all a lot of money to say that.
But I'm serious, man. I mean, the respect is. It says a lot about you, because a lot of times you got these guys. Oh, I could, blah blah blah. But they're all convinced that you would find a way to win, which is what It's just kind of. I'm not upset. I'm happy because look, you got all your brain cells. You're 15-0. You made a lot of money. You did a lot of really good things for the sport. I would like to have seen you get that UFC belt. But, you can't do everything, so.
Yeah, I would have liked to. I mean, even if it was in the back room, and that's, I get to work out with Tyron, and so, I get to work out with the best guys in the world, and I worked out with Shields when he was number 2. Really, the one guy I never got to work out with was GSP. I never got to work out with him ever. But most of the top guys I did get to, at the very least, work out with, so I understood what level I was on. But yeah, like I said, one of the sad things about MMA is it's positive and negative. The money gets in the way, and a lot of times you don't get to see who the best is. I mean, why is right?
Yeah.
I think Tyron will beat Damian Maia, but Damian Maia right now should be getting a shot at the title.
Yeah.
Jacare should be getting a shot at the title, and so the 155-pound belt. Why hasn't Khabib had a shot? The guy's 23-0 for God's sake. And so we don't always necessarily get to see who the best is. Right?
How do you think you would do against Bisping?
We don't always get that.
How do you think you would do against Bisping?
What'd you say?
How do you think you would do against Michael Bisping?
Well, I mean, he's tough and he does get up, but if you watch my fights, I'm like a blanket more than any other wrestler. Once I get on top of you, it's hard to shake me. So I think I would get on top of Michael. He has been. he's been taken down many times. His strength is usually pops right back up, but I think I would take him down and keep him down.
You know, I spent a lot of time under the blankets in my life. So I feel like I'm unique. I'm uniquely qualified to know my way around there. You know.
So now we got to talk about
what
another
were you
one.
doing under there?
We got to talk about
What was that?
What do you?
I said, what were you doing under there?
Well, I was doing a lot of stuff that I don't want to talk about here. But I was doing more than laying some farts under there. I'll tell you that.
Now we got to talk about CM Punk. Now a lot of CM Punk. I was getting conflicting people. Some people at Rufus Sport were saying this guy gets murdered in sparring. He's 1-30 in fights. Bilal Muhammad says he's a world beater and he was just fucking everyone up in practice. CM Punk.
Bilal said CM Punk?
Yeah, said CM Punk was like...
What, Bilal from House Party?
Yeah, Bilal, the guy in Young Black Teenagers. Yes, that guy. So how is CM Punk, honestly?
He's not gonna say. He can't say.
He works hard.
Yeah,
give him that.
You putting him in an unwinnable position.
I mean, guys, what would you expect with a 37-year-old man who's never had combat sports background of any type, right?
Of course.
You try to help and encourage him, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, don't you think someone should have told him, like, "Hey, listen, look, I want to be in the NBA. It's not going to happen." You know,
no, because of money. Because of money. That's why they won't.
Well, you know what they say about MMA fighting, right? Is that all you have to do to be a professional fighter is be willing to be paid to get beat up. There's no prerequisite. There's none. You don't have to play college football. You don't have to do high school. You ain't got to do nothing. You just got to be willing to take some money to get beat up if you're a professional fighter.
Say that word again. What was it?
Prerequisite.
Prerequisite. Most athletic endeavors have prerequisites to get to the next level.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
MMA, all you got to do is show up and take $100, get your ass whooped, and you're a professional athlete.
Now, Ben, you rolled with Marcelo Garcia back when you were brand new, and then according to Hanato, you went up against Marcelo. It was
that
even.
is not according to me.
You said
I talk about Damian Maia. I never fucking talked about Ben Askren.
No, you versus Marcelo. You said it was.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I was. You know, look. Me and Marcelo have understand. You know, and there's respect there between
you said
both
you would
of
have
us.
won, but your back was hurt.
Well,
right?
and then there's issue of glaucoma. and
pretty good, Renato, but I don't know if he's quite as good as you.
Bursitis. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You heard about that.
Now, Hanato, how do you think you and Askren would do in just jiu-jitsu?
You know, this is like a apple and laranja. You know, this is Askren and Larange, and it's a different sport. He will be the first to agree. And look,
he's a black belt.
Never mind that. When I came to Rufus Sport, he was nowhere to be found.
Oh, really?
Okay, he was washing his hair. and let me tell you something. When I look at that, I see those curly, beautiful Jerry curl he have, and that's just a target for me.
Right.
You know, he's gonna be in there. It's hard to get out of that headlock when you're at that point.
Now, Ben. Now, for years you saying you don't use deodorant. Is that still the case?
Oh, caralho.
That is still the case. I'm all natural. No deodorant.
Oh, no. That reminds me of Matt Horowitz, porra. I have to hear with that guy.
Not like that guy. That guy stinks.
He smell
like him.
He smell like an African cabbie.
Yeah, he's terrible. He smells so bad.
But let me tell you something. I like that guy. And it's very disconcerting because, you know, he have like some autism. Yeah. And when I'm not, you think I'm not making fun. I'm saying he have a. Is
that serious? Does he really or no? Or is he making that?
No. I'm not playing. He have some. Okay, you guys think I'm joking, but I think it's very interesting actually because the guy have a. Look, I'm not making fun of that guy. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah. He have something I think is close to like maybe Asperger or something like that. And so he have no inner monologue when he's holding with you. He'll just tell himself, he go hustle, you know, like shit like that. And he say, take your left leg and put it over there and do this. And it's shocking to you. It's like a horror movie when that's happening because it starts to come true what he's saying to you.
I've read what him do, and he does that. He starts whispering in your ear what he's gonna do to you.
Yeah, but he's not doing it to be an asshole. He's just doing
talking
it.
to
And let me
himself,
say something. I'm
coaching
not
himself.
making fun of that guy. In fact, I'm very proud of that guy. I feel like they should do a fucking movie about him because I never seen.
It was called My Left Foot.
Oh God, Ayo, you know you got a lot of nerve, Adam Hunch.
All right, go on.
But anyway, and if you ever seen the interview with him and Karen Bryant when he won the title, he was a big underdog. He choked out Talos Leites for a title, and Karen Bryant came in and she said, "This is exciting. This is so incredible. What? I can't believe this. You must be so excited. What's next for you, Matt Horowitz?" He said, "Well, I'm gonna drink some water and have some dinner with friends and family." Okay, so he look at stuff very different than most people, and I love that guy from the bottom of my heart. I love Matt Horowitz.
So Ben, how's the disc golfing doing?
Man, you know I live in Wisconsin. It's too cold up here.
Oh man,
We got about 6 weeks left, and disc golf season will start.
He was ranked 7th in the world in that.
In what?
In disc golf.
Where you diss people on each hole?
No, it's not like a rank out contest. It's basically you throw like a frisbee.
Oh, a
It's
disc.
Like, yeah,
I thought he was diss people.
Yeah. It's
I thought it was like
he
a
ranked
comedy
7th in the
host.
world in like frisbee golf.
No shit. Wow. How the fuck you get involved in that?
There's a lot of disc golf in California. I'm surprised Hanako hasn't went and checked it out yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, shit. We better do that before the brothers start getting involved in that one.
And how's Max doing, by the way?
Max is good. He's working really hard on this new academy.
Who's Max?
Max is
Who's Max?
His brother.
We're
His brother
moving in
was
next week.
your brother was a national champion, right?
Yes, Adam. How come you did not go to the NCAA?
I
the greatest wrestling tournament on planet Earth.
My goal is to go there one year. I would love to go, but his brother's a national champion, and he's the least successful Askren, which is crazy. Like it's so hard to be a national champion, and then you know, which is crazy.
Well, Adam, just like your passion was for wrestling, his passion it was for comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
And comedy needed him.
Yes. So
Ben, what are your thoughts on the Bellator welterweight title fight coming up? Lorenz Larkin just got signed. He was given the title shot right away. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, I think Lima and Koreshkov are both very good. I fought both of them, and I do think that when people are not in the UFC, they get thought of on a kind of a lower tier, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Koreshkov, you know, he proved his worth. He beat up Ben Harrison pretty bad, pretty devastating fashion. So he kind of showed people how good he was. I think Lima's pretty damn good, too.
Yeah.
And Larkin's kind of on a nice streak, so I guess it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I think if Larkin stay in the UFC, he'd probably be ranked, I don't know, top 12-ish right now.
Of course.
So and then obviously Rory's going to get in the mix at some point. I thought he signed with him like a year ago, and so I'm waiting for his first fight to be announced still.
No, he's fighting Paul Daly.
Division.
He's got a big fight against Daly in London coming up.
He's fighting Paul Daly.
Oh, I missed that?
Yeah, that's I think that's next month. That'll be a good one. What's his name though? Koreshkov's the champion. Koreshkov, he's
No, Lima's the champion.
What's his name?
Lima's the champion.
Lima is the champion. I'm sorry. Who's fighting?
They're 1-1. They beat each other.
Who's fighting?
Larkin.
Doug
Lima.
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 Both of those guys, Lima and Koreshkov, they both have improved grappling. You know, I remember when you fought these guys, you pretty much ragdolled them. You know, and since then their grappling's improved heavily. Man, they've been taking a lot of guys down.
That's not gonna. I don't feel like that's gonna came into play that much.
You don't think they're gonna try to take down Larkin?
I've been seeing.
I don't see Lima trying to take down. I don't see him trying to take down Larkin. That would surprise me.
And Larkin's takedown defense has gotten so fucking good. He's just hop on one leg and get the fuck out of there. That young blood.
Well, listen, Ben, it was an honor to have you on
I
the
had
show.
some more questions for Ben.
Go on.
Well, Ben, I wanted to ask you because we didn't have a chance to have a heart to heart. But where you came from, where you was born?
I was born in Iowa.
In Iowa. So because I noticed ever since you went to Hoofer Sport, you have like that Chicago / Milwaukee accent where you say like Adam Hunter and stuff like that. Where that came from?
Well, I lived in Wisconsin since I was 4.
Oh,
18.
that's why. Okay, because he Adam Hunch told me the wrong information. He said that you was from somewhere else, Missouri or something like that. Because I was wondering, I said he have that same Duke Hoofus accent.
Duke Hoofus.
Because I
all right, guys. Thanks. Hey, it's Adam.
Yes.
Think Cleveland next year, NCAAs. I better see you there.
I'll be there. Thank you. Thanks, Ben.
All right, thanks, guys.
Stay funky.
All right, that was Ben Askren.
I like that guy.
Funny guy too, man.
I like that guy. You know, he have a good way about him. You know,
Yeah.
and a very respectful guy. You know, one of the only guys I ever heard like very unlike myself. You started to talk. He said, "Oh, excuse me, sorry."
Oh, he's
and he, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he'll find beefs with people and he'll call people out, but you can tell, he's a well-spoken
He's
guy.
having fun with that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
but you can tell, he is respectful.
Yeah.
He speaks well. He's not just some moron.
CB?
Do you look like, is he one of the guys, in my opinion, he is? You look at the landscape of his career and where he's been. Do you think, in terms of where he's been able to go or not be able to go, is like his career is like the biggest disappointment of not making the big show? I'm not saying he's a disappointment. I'm saying like he was huge in Bellator, but it didn't work out. He's in ONE FC. He should be a UFC welterweight champion. Middleweight
I think there is a what if factor. Like, what if
Yeah.
at the same time he says he's making even more than 100,000 a
No,
fight?
but he's talking about. I think in the
like grand
in
scheme
the
of-
mythology of MMA.
Like, what
you
if
know?
Fedor went to the UFC?
You know, it's like
because he's never
he's one of
fought
that
the
ones.
names.
He's one of that ones, like maybe the biggest snub. Like you talk about somebody who never won an Oscar or some shit.
It was like Bisping before he won the belt. Everybody's like, who's the greatest UFC fighter and never hold a belt? Like the longest, and everybody was like, it's got to be Bisping.
People were saying that.
He was saying like the most successful fighter that had never won the belt.
I think Cheeky Gosen.
he won the Ariani belt.
Cheeky from
Tiki, that's Rampage is right here.
Yeah, remember Cheeky?
Tiki.
So Alan, how are you doing, man? Hey there, here we go. How are you, man?
Yeah, you guys ditched me. I'm good.
No. So I was gonna say, congrats on your last win, man. That was awesome.
Thank you.
You're
Are we
making
live right now or no?
Yeah, we're live. Well, not live. When we're talking, it's being recorded, but we're not actually airing. How's it going, man? You made that guy look foolish.
Well, yeah, he wasn't that good.
You're beating everybody, man. Now, are you really gonna retire after your next fight?
Well, I did obviously leave that one opening. If I get to somehow fight the number one person in the world, whose name is not Tyron Woodley, then I will come back for that opportunity. But other than that, I'm done.
Why?
I mean, the two reasons is, well, number one, I said that I read athletes' biographies growing up, and nobody, I mean, like, you can count them on your hands, people that have retired on time in any sport. I mean, really, no one does. They all stay. We have this arch of our career, right? And it's like this. Everyone stays till they're like way down the hill and they freaking suck at it, right? And so that's one. I didn't want to stay till I sucked. And then number two would be, competing is a selfish thing, really selfish. And I got kids now. I'll have my third kid in December, and I coach. And so when I'm focusing on myself, I'm obviously taking away from them. And I don't want to do that anymore. And that was kind of something I put on myself when I was younger. I said I want to be able to give back. And I said I'd retire by 30. When I was 30, I still felt pretty good. But now I'm 33, and I feel like it's just time to go.
But isn't it going to bother you a little bit being such a competitor that you're going to watch some of these guys and think, I can beat any of these guys right now?
But I think that all the time. What's different?
Well, yeah, but at least now you're competing. But the fact that you're not competing and watching these guys.
No, it won't bother me at all. I mean, I guess it might bother me, but it won't bother me to the point that I'm going to bother coming back or something. I'll be satisfied. I'm very satisfied with what I've done in my career, and I'm sure I'll move on to other endeavors that I'm going to enjoy very much and take a lot of passion in.
So you and Fedor are going to go down as the two best fighters to never be in the UFC.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I was sad to see when he came out of retirement because obviously, this is what I'm talking about. He's much diminished from what he was. If we remember, if we all remember what he was 10 years ago, and then what he is now, it's like he's a shell. It's almost sad to see. And with a lot of MMA fighters, they don't develop. This is a funny podcast, but this is kind of a sad topic for me. Is a lot of these MMA fighters don't develop another skill set or anything else they want to do in life, and they get to this point, they say, I want to retire. And then they just have nothing else for themselves in life. They have no other way to make money. They have nothing else to put their time and effort into. And so there's this void, and then they end up coming back because they have no way to make money and they have nothing else to do. So they end up fighting. And then, it just happens over and over and over again. And all of a sudden they're fighting until the time they're 40 and they have no skills in life. And man, that's a scary thing.
That's true. But now it's also funny that you've never even been rocked in a fight.
Never.
Now, right? Have you ever seen a star or anything?
No, I don't believe so.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty incredible to have 17 wins, Bellator champion. Now, do you think? Well, Jay Haran dropped you.
No, he didn't. He body kicked me.
Didn't he drop you and then raise his hands?
No, it was a body kick, and I was exhausted that round, and that fight taught me a few good things. I was exhausted that round, and so then it was like, hey, why don't you come down here on the ground with me? Because that body kick didn't really hurt at all, but he did not want to come back down to the ground with me.
Was he your toughest fight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was really early in my career, and everyone always points to that one, but it's like, shit, I was 2.5 years into fighting at that point in time, and training. That was the first fight that I trained like full time. That's all I was doing for. And I did a few things. That fight taught me a few things. Number one, I can wrestle and grapple all day, but stand-up fighting kind of is a different shape. And I was exhausted in the fifth round. And then number two is I had not done any wrestling prior to that fight. So, obviously I knew my wrestling skills would never leave, but I had to keep them really sharp. And so I started wrestling once or twice a week with good people after that fight.
Yeah, no, I remember actually I used to watch Jay Haran back in the day. His name was Jay Hieronymus. And in like Long Island, he was the man. He was the man until he got kicked out of Hofstra, I think, for selling weed or something. But back in the day, he was the man. Now I got a couple questions for you. Who do you think wins, GSP or Bisping?
I think Bisping. GSP is another one. Now he's been in retirement. He can't stay retired, right? And I think him coming back at 185 is totally ridiculous. A weight that, to my knowledge, he's never, ever fought. I think he should have came back and fought Tyron Woodley. Everyone said, well, he beat everyone at 170. Well, he beat everyone at 170 4 years ago. He didn't beat everyone at 170 now. He's never beaten Tyron Woodley. So I don't understand why he's coming back. I guess cash grab, and then I think he is worried about the brain damage thing, and obviously Tyron hits significantly harder than Michael Bisping does, so maybe that's why he doesn't want to fight Tyron. I'm not really sure, but I think Bisping takes it. I think he might get taken down, but if you ever watch Michael Bisping fight, he is very challenging to keep down. So I see GSP maybe taking him down, but he will not keep Bisping down.
Now you and Bisping were like beefing for a while.
We're good.
You guys are cool now?
Yeah, I saw him in Vegas one time, and it was like, I didn't know it was no serious hard feelings. It was like talking trash on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
The person I talk trash on Twitter too.
Now, I mean, Conor McGregor called you pube head on Twitter. Did you guys Did you and McGregor ever straighten it out?
No, I've never seen him. I would straighten him out real quick.
Now, you think you could beat Conor McGregor?
Easy.
How? Hello?
Mendez took him down. Chad Mendez is a 141-pound wrestler. I'd take him down whenever the hell I wanted to.
I believe it. I would not bet against Askren on anything.
Bet against McGregor?
Now, everyone was booing Woodley at the last two fights that I've seen Tyron fight at.
I was there. I was in the corner.
Yeah, I saw you. What did you did you give him a pep talk afterwards? You tell him don't care.
No.
You didn't say they boo me too?
No. I've known Tyron since I was 17, and I know that a rah-rah pep talk is not going to motivate or move him at all, right? Tyron's going to go out there and do what he needs to do. What a lot of people weren't accounting for was the fact that he hurt his shoulder in the first round pretty bad, and he couldn't really throw punches. with nearly the effect that he would have otherwise. And but he the other thing is he's very disciplined, right? He played a perfect game plan. He stuffed like 27 takedowns. There's 27 in a row, something totally absurd. And so he did play a very disciplined game plan. And I think without that shoulder injury, he probably would have got the TKO in the second round.
I mean, do you care? Like, I don't know anyone who gets more shit on Twitter than you. Probably you, Khabib, Bisbing. Now, did you use it, Paulie Malignaggi for a while? Do you care about it at all? Does it ever get to you?
No, I scroll through it. The most annoying thing to me is when 2 or 3 people start arguing back and forth on my Twitter, and then I gotta like scroll like a whole bunch of times to get to the top. And I'm like, well, I would rather like kind of read what some people are saying, but I'm not gonna read these 3 people's conversation. It's super annoying. Like, can't they just take me out of it?
Yeah. Because I was wondering, but I mean, now when fans boo you, do you care at all about that at all, or no?
No, not at all.
Yeah, you've always had that like wrestling, like WWE thing where you don't, as long as they care about you one way or the other.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
hey, I haven't got booed in a long time though, Adam. I know
because
I think it's been since about 2011.
No, because you've been finishing fights, and even when you were getting booed, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I've always been the biggest fan of yours. Number one, I was a fan of yours back in Mizzou, and I was saying that your college has produced 3 champions. I don't know any other college that had Chandler was the Bellator champion, you were the ONE FC champion or one championship, and Woodley was the UFC champion. You all wrestle for the same college team, which is like not even one of the Mizzou was like number 10 in the country. Like you would think everyone would have won to Nebraska or Iowa or whatever.
We finished number 3 my senior year. Better now.
Yeah, but that's pretty impressive.
So we finished. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, there's some other colleges that have had really good output. Oklahoma State obviously being one. You got
ASU,
Cormier. You got Mogulwall, Shane Roller. Who am I? Oh, Johnny Hendricks, obviously. So they put out some really good people. Arizona State obviously put out some really good people. Bader, Dalloway, Aaron Simpson. And so you have these colleges, but then, it's interesting because certain colleges don't put out any. For example, like Iowa or Minnesota. Well, hopefully Minnesota will have their first guy in Logan Storley, but some of these colleges that have really storied programs, their guys just don't go to fight for whatever reason, and that wasn't the case in Missouri. Obviously, we've had a bunch of guys who fought.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's really cool to see. Now, the guy that beat you in college, who's the guy who was the ASU coach? He beat you.
Yes.
What was his name?
His name's Chris Pendleton.
Okay, Chris Pendleton. I hung out with him one night.
Every single time we do an interview, Adam?
He wants to be your friend. And
No,
he
he doesn't.
He told me he wants to be your friend, but you won't talk to him.
Well, shut up. You are so full of crap.
I swear. I hung out with him. I go, I swear. I go, Chris, how come you won't hang out with Ben? He said, look, I reached out to Ben. I like Ben. Ben doesn't like me. I'm telling you, that's what happened. All right, so Colby Covington says that he beat up Tyron Woodley and you were there in practice. Were you there?
That's another fabrication. I have never been in the same room as Colby Covington since college wrestling.
Okay. Now, who do you think wins,
Never.
Colby or Tyron?
He kills Colby. Colby's a freaking jabroni.
Now, do you think...
I remember Colby Covington, there's something wrong with this idiot. I was coaching an Arizona State kid when I was there. He was wrestling Colby Covington, who was from Oregon State. And Colby was significantly better than him. But every time Colby went back to the center, he was staring me down. And I'm like, hey, idiot, you're not wrestling me. And if you were wrestling me, you'd be on your back getting pinned right now. So stop freaking looking at me and go wrestle. What's your freaking problem?
He was staring down the coach?
Yes, he was staring down me as the coach. And it's like, you suck. You can't even win a national title. I would pin you in a minute. Just stop looking at me.
That's pretty... I got to side with Colby on that. To stare down the coach during your match is pretty fucking cool.
That happened in more than one match, and I was so annoyed by it. It was such an immature tactic by him. And then the fact of the matter is, he wasn't a tenth the wrestler I was. I mean, he never came close to winning a national title.
Do you think he beats Damian Maia?
It's possible. I think his ground could use some work, and I think the fight will probably end up there sooner or later. He's got some really good things going for him, but I would say his submission defense is suspect. Damian Maia is about as good as it gets at locking on submission. So I would say I could see a way where he could win, but I could also see a bunch of ways where he could lose.
Now, Thompson versus Masvidal. Who wins that fight?
Probably Thompson. Masvidal has good output. He's going to move forward, but he doesn't hit that hard, and that's exactly what Stephen Thompson wants. Stephen Thompson likes to pick and poke as he's moving backward. He's really tricky, and Masvidal is not going to be able to hit hard enough to really hurt him.
Now, national anthem. Should people be able to? What's your thoughts on the whole taking a knee?
Oh, we're going political. I think they should be able to kneel. America, one of the founding principles of America is free speech, right? And that would fall under those guidelines. The thing I would like to see out of the people who are kneeling, and Colin Kaepernick, the guy who started this, he's clueless because, he's protesting oppression, but he wore a Fidel Castro shirt. And if anyone wants to do a basic Google search, they can see Cuba had one of the most oppressive regimes over the past 50 years. Very, very oppressive. And so Kaepernick saying, I want to fight oppression, but I'm wearing a Fidel Castro shirt, that doesn't add up.
Right.
That's like 2 + 3 = 9, right?
Right.
And so if the tenets of your argument are I want to fight oppression, don't wear a Fidel Castro shirt. So what I would like to see from the players who are kneeling, who are making this protest, who are using their right to free speech, is a more concise view of exactly what they want. Because I don't know what they want. They want to fight oppression, but what does that mean? Because if you do also Google or any search, whatever, America is one of the freest and most upwardly mobile societies ever to grace planet Earth.
What happened?
Yep. Compared to other places in the world, the opportunities we have here are significant. And so I would like to know exactly what types of oppression. Name them. Name who, what system. Is it the colleges? They need to let more black people in. What is it, right? So name something very exact on what we need to do. Because as a white person, I don't want to oppress anybody. I don't want to be a racist, but if I'm doing something wrong as a white person, I need to know what I need to change, and I don't know what that is at this point.
The only thing you're doing is humping your opponents. But I 100%.
And they ain't black.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. I think you're right. I think, and everyone's like, we didn't fight for the war. I'm like, yeah, people didn't fight for the war of Kaepernick. Nobody fought for a war so that this guy could stand the national anthem. You're absolutely right. They have we fought for our freedoms. They have the freedom to stand or kneel if they want, and people should just deal with it. But I 100% agree. Specifically, what I think it's police brutality is what they're angry about, which makes sense because
when you look, and obviously statistics don't always tell the truth. They can lie, they can be skewed, they can be manipulated, but I don't think statistics bear that out. And obviously, you can point to anecdotal evidence of a few videos, which, if we wanted to point to anecdotal evidence about anything, we could probably go find a couple instances of that happening. But I would like to see statistical evidence of how that's happening. And then obviously we could go from there.
Right. All right, back to MMA. Kevin Lee versus Ferguson. I'm picking Kevin Lee. You?
Man, that's a coin flip. Because I could see it going either way. They wrestled together in college. That was pretty interesting. I listened to an interview with Kevin Lee. I think Kevin Lee's more dynamic. I think he's got better wrestling. I think Ferguson's probably got better cardio. The striking's different. Not quite as powerful, but he might have a better reach. So if he can dictate the range, I can see him winning. But if Lee can get on the inside and get the takedown and stay on top, I can see him winning. So, man, I could really see that one going both ways.
Yeah, me too. Aaron Pico. Thoughts on Aaron Pico? Do you think, is he a hype? Is he the real deal? Is he mismanaged?
No, he's managed by the same management company that I am, so I do not think he's mismanaged. And, I got thrown into Bellator against a guy who was, I think, 11-3 in my third fight. And then my fifth fight, I believe I was fighting Dan Hornbuckle, who was 21-2 or 22-2. And so, for us wrestlers, we've been competing our whole lives, facing someone good. That's just what happens. They thought he was ready for that, and it's MMA. Crazy stuff happens. I mean, he walked into one kick, right? Everyone said it was that punch, but I really think it was that initial kind of kick off the bat that hit him that really caused the damage. I think he's going to be fine. I do think the one thing I see, and actually I texted my management about this, is that, he boxed his whole life. He did Golden Gloves. I think he has that boxing mentality is you can get hit a little more often. The gloves are a little bit bigger. It's a little bit different. In MMA, that's just not the case, man. You really can't be taking too much shots because they will catch up to you sooner or later.
I agree. Now, wrestling, supposedly they're going to have new uniforms in certain places. They're going to have like board shorts and kind of like judo. I think that's a great thing. I know as a kid wrestling coach, so many kids are like, fuck that, I have a small penis. I don't want people seeing my dick. And I hear you. You're at that age. Do you think, what's your thoughts on the singlets change?
Yeah, no, I love it. I think people who are against it are going to say, well, the population wrestling didn't go up by 20%. See, no one cared. And, my argument is, hey, if it's 3%, right, that's a big number. If it goes up by 2%, that's a big number. And so, Adam, if you got 25 guys on your team, there might not be another 25 in the school who don't wrestle because of the singlet issue, but there might be 3, right? Or there might be 5. So even if it makes a small difference, that's a good difference. So I'm strongly in favor of it.
Is Ronda Rousey still block you?
Probably. You know who blocked me? Who I was blocked by the other day because I clicked on someone to retweet him? Jeremy Stevens blocked me, and I have no idea why.
What did you say about him?
I don't know. I was in Showtime Pettis' corner when he kicked his butt like 6 years ago or something, and besides that, shit, I got no idea. That was funny, but yeah, I'm sure Rousey still blocked me.
And thoughts now, do you think John Jones it was a simple mistake, or was he trying to take steroids on purpose?
Well, if it was one time, I could see his case, but 2 times now, man, it's hard to believe that was a mistake if he tested positive 2 times, right? And then on top of that, I don't recall who made the argument, but it was a good one. If he was willing to take cocaine, which is obviously not a performance enhancer, something very risky, where in his moral code will say that he wouldn't take something that's going to help him, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think he did it 2 times in a row, man. That would be hard to mistake that for USADA.
Now, you and him had some kind of a Twitter beef, right?
We had beef. Yeah, because I always had Daniel Cormier's back, and he always talks shit on Daniel.
Right.
So,
have you ever met John Jones?
Yeah, but we were way younger. I mean, like, super young.
Who do you think would win in a grappling match? You or Jones?
Shoot, he's pretty big. I would do a takedowns match against John Jones. Like, first 1 to 5 takedowns. But he'd also have to take a drug test.
Okay, right. Got it. Now, Bellator has some good ass wrestlers. They have Ed Ruth. They have Darian Caldwell. How good can these guys be?
Who? Darian Caldwell and who else?
Ed Ruth.
Oh, awesome. Ed's a little younger, so I think his upside's a little higher. I want to say Darian might be 30 or 31 now, maybe a little younger than that, somewhere around there. But obviously, I guess his upside's already pretty high because he's probably going to win the Bellator title here in a couple weeks. So I guess that's a pretty significant accomplishment. So I shouldn't scoff at that. But I think Ed's going to be really good. Obviously, Darian's already really good. He's fighting for a Bellator title, and I think he's probably likely to win a Bellator title here in a couple weeks.
Now, we're here with Ashley Evans-Smith, by the way. Ashley was a college wrestler. She's in the UFC. She's very beautiful, but she has horrible taste in men. She needs a guy like you. Obviously, you're taken. What advice would you give for this young fighter to get a better boyfriend? Because she's had horrible success.
With my wife, honesty's always been the key. And so, like, I'll just tell her shit, and she always says, like, nobody else would tell their wife this. And I said, honey, from day one, I told you I was going to tell you the truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth. And so, we're kind of that same way with each other. No secrets, and that keeps everything real.
Now, I know you haven't used deodorant in 20 years. No, honestly, he
Never.
doesn't wear.
I have not. That's a fact.
No, he has not. Now, does your wife use deodorant?
She does because she's way stinkier than I am.
That's okay. No, he does not use deodorant.
She use the hippie. She uses the hippie kind, but she does use it.
All right. So, and then my final Derek Lewis versus Verdum. Who wins this fight?
Oh, shoot! I have no idea on that one. I don't even have an opinion on that one.
You don't. Wow, this is the first time in the history of your life you didn't have an opinion.
Yeah. Hey, Adam. Actually, Ashley's a college wrestler. She should start a women's wrestling club because I have our wrestling clubs up here, but I need a adequately trained female wrestler to start a female wrestling club. And maybe it's just 1 or 2 days a week, and then obviously they can wrestle with the boys also. But I think if there was just a girls only class, that more females would be apt to give it a shot. So maybe she can start when they're in California with your help and let us know how it goes.
Well, yeah, they always go for the head and arm in MMA fights. How frustrating is that when you see a girl go for the head and arm every fucking...
If it works, do it, right?
No, but it works, what, half the time, you'd say?
For women, it's weird. It works, it's a much higher percentage, I believe.
Yeah, much higher.
Although Darian Caldwell hit it on Metcalf in the finals.
True. This is true.
That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Metcalf or no?
I'm somewhere in the middle. I like parts of him and I don't like parts of what he does.
Yeah, you seem like you're kind of a different. You're like the hippie guy, and he's sort of like the after school jock, like the bad guy in the '80s movie.
Cut out there, Adam.
No. How come your brother never fought, Max?
Adam, you cut out there. I didn't hear your last question.
How come your brother Max never fought?
He had a bad back, so actually, when he finished college, he went straight to coaching, and he thought he would never even wrestle again. And then, and then he ended up he took some, I think, 2 or 3 years off, and he healed up. He ended up competing a little bit. And so, he was just a little older and didn't really have that same desire to do that.
Oh, well, nice. Well, listen, Askren, you're an American hero. You're a great guy. Thank you for taking the time out to be on our show. Always a big fan.
All right. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. See you guys. Have a great day.
Bye.
All right. That was Ben Askren. Good dude right there. Right? Fucking solid. Olympian wrestler. Olympian, national champion, undefeated.
What's up?
What's up? It's Adam Hunter and the Greg Wilson. You're on the MMA Roasted Podcast. How are you?
Oh, shoot. I blanked. I'm running practice right now, but I'm going to do the interview anyway.
All right, nice. What are you doing right now?
We just started practice.
All right, cool.
Oh, shit.
Now you tweeted out recently, I told you Conor McGregor sucks. Do you think he really sucks?
Well, I mean, right, it's all relative. So what does he suck relative to? Well, he sucks relative to Khabib, and he sucks relative to me. So yeah, he sucks.
But he did beat Poirier, and he beat Eddie Alvarez, and he beat Jose Aldo.
He got a few good wins here and there.
He got some. Now you did call the fight. You said exactly how it was going to go.
Exactly.
Now,
the video's still up on Facebook, so you can go check it out.
Now, I always thought that Khabib's chin straight up in the air, walks forward, and that was going to be right for Conor's left hand. But you saw that not happening. How did you know?
Well, I just really, if you watch those old fights that you referenced, what Conor does so well is he gets people mad, and then they do stupid shit when they're mad, like people do.
Completely.
So it's Conor's plan. It's a good plan. He gets people upset. They bum rush him. And they take advantage. And Khabib is nice, composed, and went in there and did exactly what he thought he was going to do.
Now, how do you think you do against Khabib?
Very well.
So now people are saying that's the fight to make. You couldn't make 50. You couldn't make 55 though, could you?
No, but they're gonna do this 165 division sooner or later. And then I'm thinking sooner. I'm thinking it's probably coming pretty soon.
And you think you could make 65?
Oh yeah, I definitely could. I made 163 for the Olympics.
Oh, I know, but that was a long time ago. But and you fought at 185 over at 1FC.
Yeah, but that was you couldn't cut water weight.
Okay, got it. Now
that's way different. That's way different.
Now, guys like Al Iaquinta, they say, Al Iaquinta's a great wrestler. I think he was a junior national champion or something. He took second in the state of New York. But he said Khabib's wrestling was a different level. He said that the strength that this guy has, he never felt power like Khabib. What is it with these?
Yeah, but you're referencing his high school credentials. That's laughable.
Really? Why is that laughable?
Because that's what we compare after Pee Wee football to NFL.
Good point. But what is it about these Dagestani guys, and what is it about that type of wrestling versus, let's say, versus the kind of wrestling that you do?
Well, that's the best wrestling area in the world. And so, Khabib's never. I don't believe you're supposed to say it, but what I think happened was that early on in Khabib's life, he probably was trained to be a wrestler. Maybe they all did wrestling classes. And then he realized that wasn't going to be, wasn't going to make the team or whatever. And so, he went a different route, did some of the Sambo, and then obviously went into MMA fairly early.
Yeah, but it does seem like when they grab, it's kind of like with you, like when you grab somebody, you have this you have this gorilla strength that other people.
Yeah, but the difference between me and them is I didn't do a lot of steroids.
Oh wait, you think the guys from Dagestan are doing steroids?
You watch Icarus, they pretty much just straight up say it.
Yeah. Now, by the way, do you think that because I was watching college wrestling recently, and I think you might have ruined it, honestly.
Why?
Because every time a guy goes for a single or a double, they do some weird funk thing now where they grab the back of the wrestling shoe and some crazy scramble. And it worked for you. It was amazing. And obviously, but it seems like, but now they get into, awesome. But now it's all like potentially dangerous situations where they just hold and then the ref restarts it. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And obviously when you use the scrambles, not every wrestler is scrambling to win or scrambling to score points. Some of them realize, hey, I'm overmatched, and I'm just going to do whatever I can do to hang on for a second here and try to get a stalemate or try to not give up points. And so, they're not all using it for the best purposes, but I think you'd say overall it's been a significant improvement to wrestling. I think that would be my opinion.
No, you're right.
You're saying differently.
No, I was kidding about you ruining it, but you're right though. There's got to be something though different where people are just holding on for dear life until the ref restarts it, because that seems to be slowing down. That seems to be slowing down the action.
Yeah, absolutely. But obviously, if you really know what you're looking at with the scrambles and stuff, it is very entertaining. In my opinion, it's very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And I love the technicalities of it.
No, I agree. Now, did you think that Pettis was going to beat Ferguson going into that fight?
Yeah, I thought he had a good chance because Anthony's so dynamic with the striking, and I knew Ferguson would be prone to getting hit at some point. And, Anthony connected a few times in the second round. I think he dropped him twice. I guess he broke his hand. He wasn't really able to follow up on that and get a finish. And so, Tony did a great job. I put a video out last night about how, I think Tony can give Khabib a good run for his money.
Yeah, the only thing about Tony is he seems to get hurt in every fight, which makes it fun and makes it interesting and makes him very vulnerable. But you do kind of wonder when that's going to catch up to him.
I'm sorry, what did you say at the last part of it? I missed that.
I kind of wonder when that's going to catch up to him. It seems like he gets hurt in a lot of his fights, guys aren't able to capitalize it. But I wonder if he gets hurt in the Khabib fight, if that'll just be it.
Yeah, the thing I think he has does really want to speed is he doesn't get that tired, So considering the fact that he doesn't get that tired and he can keep up that high volume striking pace that he likes to do. Khabib has gotten tired in his last two fights. And the thing with McGregor fights, McGregor was equally as tired, so he couldn't take advantage of Khabib's fatigue. But I don't know that that'd be the case with Ferguson. It seems like Ferguson would just keep on bringing the heat no matter what.
Right. No, it's true. Now, how do you think Kevin Lee does against Khabib?
Partner, go right away.
How do you think Kevin Lee does against Khabib?
I think Kevin Lee could do all right. I guess we'll see. Kevin Lee did, he's gassed out before, and so, I think he's going to give Khabib a good go off the bat, but I don't know. They keep that pace for 5 rounds. Nor, he's obviously not getting that fight right now.
Yeah. Now, when I had Dana White on the podcast, I kept saying how I wanted you to be in the UFC, how big of a fan I was. Dana said, well, he made a call, but that you were tied up with ONE FC. Is there any truth to that? Are you done with the ONE FC? Can you go to the UFC? Are you a free agent? Talk to us.
We're just gonna leave that vague for a minute.
Wait, what?
I'm refusing to answer your question.
Oh, come on, man. We want to know. The fans want to know, Askren. Okay, you're not getting any younger, bro.
Find out.
We need you. We need you. You're what MMA needs right now. You're the savior, bro.
I'm the hero they didn't know they wanted.
It's so it's so true, man. It's so true. It's so true. Now, Cormier versus Black Beast was announced today. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Great for Cormier. Easy money is the way I see it.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, yeah.
Derek Lewis is entertaining and all, but he lost 14 and a half minutes of that fight. And then obviously connected with I believe it was a big right hand on a left hand, and put him out.
Now, Gary Tonin says he wants to grapple you, or he would be honored to grapple you in some kind of EBI or something. Any interest in that?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm not totally opposed. The one thing I don't like about the grappling contest is that they are so skewed toward the jiu-jitsu guys. As opposed to being the wrestling. Obviously wrestling is my background. Wrestling is what I did my whole life, and that's what I'm really, really good at. I mean, I tend to be okay at jiu-jitsu.
You're a brown belt, right?
I wish there was a competition that I had. You know what? I would really like to see eventually, and I don't know this yet, but something that's more similar to catch wrestling, where catch wrestling, the deal is pin or submit, so you can't lay on your back. And and the thing is, if jiu-jitsu wants to be honest, they say the original reason jiu-jitsu is because it's realistic to a fight. But now, as we see in fights, almost everybody who lays on their back is beat up. I mean, it's very, very rare that someone who is on their back is winning the fight.
Right. Well, you're also a brown belt, right?
I'm a black belt.
You're a black belt. I mean,
Yes, sir.
now, is there kind of a thing where you go up against Gary Tonin, but he's so good at knee bars and leg locks? He starts off on his back, does some kind of a butt scoot thing, and now you're kind of stuck.
I think I could go, right? But Gary Tonin's as elite gets. So, I'm not opposed to that at some point in my future. I don't know about right now. I'm actually going to wrestle in the Midlands in December. I'm really looking forward to that. I started dieting already, losing some weight. So I'm getting ready for that. I'm excited. I haven't wrestled a folks in 11 years, so I'm excited to get it going.
Wow. Now, who's in your weight class?
We don't know yet, but I think Zahid's going to be there. Zahid's ranked number 1, so he's really, really good. But hey, Adam, I got finish the warm up. I got to run this practice. I'm sorry to give you more time. I'll come back on another time. Is that cool?
No problem. Tomorrow, same time. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no problem. We'll do it next week. Ben, you're the best.
All right.
Take care.
All right. See you guys.
All right. That was Ben Askren.
Nice.
Yeah. I love Ben Askren. Fucking guy, 17-0, 2-time national champion, 5th most pins in college history, Olympian.
Yeah.
And the UFC won't sign him because he's too boring. And because he called Dana White a fat old ball guy or something.
Well, that might have something to do with it.
But guys have said much worse about Dana White.
That make him money.
People would pay to see Ben Askren. A lot. The wrestling community is a big community. Big community.
Not big enough, I don't think.
Oh, beyond. The problem was that ONE FC was giving him upwards of $100,000 a fight, and they gave him a Ferrari or something. And he's like, what the fuck? Why would I'm fighting easier guys for 10 times the money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now there's always going to be that asterisk of what if, with amongst MMA fans.
And that's the way it is. I mean, again, this is the dilemma they have. Do I make the money or do I chase the fame? I mean, it's kind of, you almost have to make a choice sometimes with these guys.
I would go for the money.
Exactly. So,
you got a family, you got kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go for the money.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's why they offer them more money here, because they know they're going to, listen, you're not going to fight in UFC, but we're going to pay you more to fight over here. Okay. So he took the money.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, my buddy, do you want to call him? He was in Vegas on Saturday night after the
I'd rather
fights.
talk to you than your buddy.
Trap sons and trap
He was there.
Trap sons and trap dansen. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Даадar стуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.